All right.
Hello, Jesse B.
Hi.
Hello, Bruno.
Hello, Foxy, and hello, Jesse.
How are
Hi,
you doing, buddy?
Bruno.
Doing great. Super happy to be here. This is my first time on a podcast. So,
Oh, is it really?
Yes, I'm a little bit nervous.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't want to
very
say
honoured.
something that I will regret later.
Don't worry, I get to edit it out. It's all good. So, yeah, you'd say whatever
Nice.
you want.
So, okay. Okay, I'll listen to the recording. I'll listen to the recording afterwards, and I'll tell you everything you should delete.
Yeah, well, you can edit it if you want. Save me a big job. That'll be fine.
No,
I haven't got a problem with that.
I trust the expert here. You'll take good care of it.
Okay, fair enough. Well, if you don't know who we are and what we're doing, this is the Minecraft Update podcast, obviously very much unofficial. We're on episode 47, and we have a special guest with us instead of Mr. Lizard today, who is none other than Bruno, which we'll get to a little bit later in the podcast. We're going to be grilling Bruno on all of the questions and all of the things and finding out many about him. But before we do that, first thing I want to do is say thank you very much to the 14 people that have signed up to our Patreon last week. We've only launched it last week and already got 14 patrons, which is absolutely fantastic. And if you enjoy this show, then you can support us too by going to patreon.com/the Minecraft Update. The payments are per podcast rather than per month, but you can set a cap if you don't want to. If you only wanted to give us $1 a month, you can do. That's absolutely fine. And the minimum perks you'll get by becoming a patron at any tier is access to our patron-only feed when we do bonus content, which hopefully we will be doing very soon. Access to our live recordings when we do those as well. And you'll get a patron Discord role and access to the patron-only Discord channels, which is also very exciting. Isn't it, guys?
Yes.
It's super exciting. Super exciting. I'm good. I'm happy today is not the first recording with guests, or I will be nervous.
Honestly, there's no need to be nervous. We don't bite. We're absolutely fine. We barely ever cause a problem, do we, Jesse?
I mean, I think that we're pretty friendly, although Beardy hasn't been seen since, he was on the podcast. True. So don't be worried about that, though. Yeah, I mean, that's just a coincidence.
That's why you didn't answer the messages.
Yeah. Before we get to talking about what we've done this week, I do want to just issue a bit of an apology. Obviously, last week we talked about the fact that we have moved the podcast away from our previous hosts to host it ourselves, and Google Podcasts hates me. Google Podcast has decided that it's not going to refresh our feed anymore, even though I send them a new one every day. In fact, it gets updated hourly for whatever reason. But they seem to have locked onto a cached version of our feed. And as a result, they are absolutely refusing to acknowledge that we've got any new episodes. So if you are at some point in the future listening to this on Google Podcasts, then great, it's finally working. But for now, we don't even have last week's on there yet. Hopefully, I'll be able to fix that soon. I keep trying to tell it we've got an even newer feed, but it's like, no, sorry, mate, I don't recognise that. Give me some more time. So, apologies to peeps. However, with those issues aside, it hasn't stopped us having an awful lot of feedback, questions, bug reports, and wishlist items. So I don't think it's been too detrimental to us, thankfully. Phew. Right. It's time to find out what we've been doing this week. And we're going to start with our special guest, Bruno. Bruno, I want to know all the things that you've been up to this week.
Me, what I have been up to this week, what I haven't been up to this week. I haven't done tons of stuff. Okay, as you guys know, I'm a streamer and I also create content for YouTube. So on my streams, I am playing currently on, of course, Minecraft, half-hearted hardcore. I've been just wrapped up a base project, a steampunk airship last week. Goodness. I'm making a couple farms right now to get ready for making a perimeter, which is a word. I think that I don't know if they make perimeters in Bedrock, but in Java they are a little bit not usual, but like it's something you can achieve. Also been recording a Christmas song that we wrote live on the stream.
Wow!
Wow!
Yes, because it was my birthday, guys. You didn't say me happy birthday. It was my birthday on December. You did. Fox, you didn't.
I
I'm sure. I wished you happy birthday last year, Bruno. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's each year. Okay, each year you have to say it again, Foxy.
You have to do it again, do you? Oh, I'm sorry. I just thought it was a one-time thing. Happy birthday, Bruno.
Thank you so much, Foxy.
Wow.
Better late than never.
Unless it's in my app, I don't know.
December the 2nd was my birthday, and I did a special stream, and one of the things we had on that stream was a redeem where people could submit a line for a Christmas song.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's
and
amazing.
I promised everyone that I was going to record it and release it on the 24th, so I've been working on that. And what else? Yes, I've been taking, it's been a little bit since I uploaded to YouTube, but I'm planning coming back to making videos, and I'm working on that. And that's what I've been into this week, at least when it comes to content.
That's amazing.
That's a lot of things, Bruno.
Yeah.
And I didn't even talk about my cats or...
Gee, so this song that you're making then, you said you're going to release that on Christmas Eve. So
yes,
is that through Spotify or just on YouTube? How are you getting that out to people? Because I want to hear it.
I really didn't think about it. I thought it more as a thing for the community. I was going to release it on the Discord as a download thing. I didn't think about uploading it somewhere. It's also filled with like inside jokes and stuff like that, right? I don't think it will be something. I don't know if you guys care. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Yeah, of course.
I've got rubbish on Spotify that's just inside jokes about Minecraft songs. I got one about Slack blowing up the moon with his rocket. It's fine. You should get them
Really?
on there. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta check it out. But I haven't thought about that. I'm first thinking about recording it, and then I'll see. But yes, the idea is that it's something from the community to the community, right? Yeah, and it's kind of like a joke.
That's amazing.
But yeah,
that's absolutely fantastic. Wow. Good for you, but well done. That's an impressive amount of things to do in a week that's just content related. Jeez, putting us both to shame.
And we are on, what day is today?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
You didn't have to
I don't know
start
when this
on
comes
Sunday
out.
or Monday.
Okay.
This comes out on Friday, yeah. Oh, jeez. Unless you're on Google Podcasts, in which case this comes out at some point next year, probably. Oh, jeez. Jesse, what have you been up to this week? You need to fluff it out a bit, make us sound like we're as busy as...
Right? That's what I was like. Well, I've been daily streaming in December, which has been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it. But I'm not... wow, I'm taken back by how amazing you are, Bruno, and how much energy you must have, because I am wiped out. I have been daily streaming, and in the off times, I've been trying to record, and I have been editing, and I'm wiped out.
Yeah, daily streaming is tough.
I'm so tired. It's
for
very
how long?
different. My streams go from anywhere from 2 hours to 5 hours. It really just depends on what kind of mood I'm in that day, I guess. But yes. I think on average they're about 3 hours at this point. But yeah, so I've just been doing that. But when I have been editing this week, I've been dealing with that, the dreaded imposter syndrome, right? I made the mistake. I made the big mistake of looking at my season 2 playlist. And you were a part of season 2, Bruno. I did so much. I was looking at everything I had done in season 2 and how much I had done by, 2 months in. And I am doing nothing. I have gotten 0 done this season. And it's really taken a little bit of a hit on me, because I was like, why am I not doing as well as I was doing when I feel like I am putting just as much energy into it? And I think I've just realized that's the problem. I have no energy.
When you say done so much, what are you talking about? When it comes to builds, when it comes to amount of videos, what do you think that you're doing less now? Both.
So for me, season 2, I had just had Evie, literally. Like season 2 started and I had just popped out a kid. And I was doing 2 to 3 videos a week with a brand new baby. And I had, in those 2 months, I had already terraformed an entire mushroom island. I had a starter house. I had farms. I was going nuts. And now, this season, I have terraformed a shopping district, and I have a little tiny starter house, and I have a few mob grinders. And that's about it. And I'm feeling rough about it.
But there's 2 subtle differences to season 2 and now. The first is, when you started season 2, a new Pokemon game hadn't just come out, right? so you had more time for Minecraft. And secondly, on a more serious note, you didn't used to stream hardly at all back then.
You know what? You're not wrong. I didn't really take that into account. You're right. I think I streamed like once a month.
Yeah, exactly. And now you're doing it like 3 hours a day, every day. So don't compare the 2 things at all.
I think people underestimate how much energy and time streaming takes actually compared to video, because when you do both, you kind of feel that, I don't know, like you gotta record and edit and plan and do all that when it comes to YouTube, right? But when you think about streaming, well, like, it takes you like 3 to 4 hours, and I imagine you must be tired afterwards, because we all kind of like need a small break, and it could take like anywhere from half an hour to an hour to be ready to like start doing something. And it's also more tiring a little bit mentally than recording. Recording is, you kind of like can take it at your own pace, but live you're like continuously exposed in the moment to the public, right?
Yeah.
And also, yes, doing it, like, when you think about it, it's 3 to 4 hours every day. Now that you're doing it every day, it's quite a lot. So you need to take that into account. And
You're
also
right.
kind of like people underestimate streaming a little bit too, right? You think, okay, I'm not doing that much on YouTube, therefore I'm doing nothing, right? Like, it's a little bit how you feel. But the content you produce on stream is also valuable, and it's also something you are doing. So instead of saying, oh, on YouTube I only have this and that and just terraform this and that, also like take into account all the hours that you streamed, for example.
Yeah,
Try to factor that in and see how you feel about yourself afterwards.
You know what? That is a very good idea. Thank you. That is very insightful.
To continue what Bruno says there, you know, when you're recording, it's structured. And when you're streaming, even if you've planned out what you're doing and you're doing things, you know, in a process of I'm going to start here and finish here, it's not like when you finished your video, you wrap it all up and you tie a bow on it and you put it on YouTube, and you don't get that with the stream, because all of the stuff, all of the engagement is there happening at the time. So it kind of feels when you finish your stream that it's just gone, you know. Whereas when you do a video, because then you've got all of that process of editing it, putting it together and putting it out there and waiting for the responses, it feels like a more complete system. And I think that's just, and it isn't, it's just you're getting the engagement and you're getting the whole process of it all at once rather than going through it all separately. So yeah, totally different scenario, but just as valid. So yeah, don't have that imposter syndrome because you're doing loads. And you're doing a podcast now, Jessie.
That's true. I do a podcast now.
Jeez. Right. Jessie, have you got anything to add to that, or shall we move on to my week?
Yeah. I was just going to say, what are you up to?
Well, this week I have actually recorded stuff. I know. For the first time in ages, because it's been the first week I haven't been just totally stressed out with having broken everything constantly. And yesterday I spent an entire day planning out a brand new series, sadly nothing to do with Truly Bedrock, and I recorded 10 episodes, edited them, and I've even uploaded them of basically, I toyed with the idea of doing shorts, but I don't really like shorts, so they are relatively short episodes, like 2, 3, 4 minutes each, And it's all to do with bugs, Minecraft bugs. So they're going to be coming out on my channel weekly. And I tried to do it in a really fun, sort of tongue-in-cheek, laid-back way. The series is called Just One Bug, and the idea is that Minecraft Bedrock Edition is the perfectly coded game, and it's been a real challenge trying to find just one bug in it. But every week I manage to find that just one bug that exists in the game, and then we have a bonus bug as well. So there's technically 2 bugs in each video, but I make it like I don't know, I've just done it in a really daft way. But I really enjoyed doing that yesterday. It was really good fun. So that's been good. And the other thing I've done this week is I've thrown away my Go XLR, Jesse.
Did you?
Yeah, well, I haven't thrown it away. It's on the side because I didn't throw it away.
You can send it to your way. Send it to your way if you want.
I would love to, but I don't let it go yet, Bruno. I've basically I moved. The Stream Deck Plus came out, right, and it has fancy little knobs on the bottom, and I saw it and I wanted it, and in theory, it's got so much more built into it than the Go XLR can do because of the way it maps your audio channels and the way it has a lot of freedom that way. But in order to get the most out of it, even though you can use their audio software for free if you've got the Stream Deck Plus, in order to make the most out of actually recording your microphone, you need to get the Wave XLR as well from Elgato. So I had to get one of those. And now I've got everything set up in a much more functional way through OBS, still managing to keep everything separate. But whereas the Go XLR, there's always sort of I must remember to do that because it doesn't quite work the way I expect it to, or I must remember to do that because it doesn't quite work the way I expect it to. Whereas this does a much better job of keeping everything separated and allowing you to process things better. But it is a lot different, and I'm not 100% sure that I'm happier with it yet because I've lost my buttons, Jesse. I haven't got my Bruno buttons. I haven't got my Jesse B or my Slag buttons. What am I going to do? Jeez.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's interesting because I've have a few friends who have gotten the new the Plus, right?
Yeah.
And half of them have said that they're still using their Go XLR, but they're using it with the Plus.
Yeah.
And because there's some issues that like the Plus just doesn't have or like doesn't do as well. So like they've been just using a combination. And it's like if you're using a combination, why? Like why not just use one? So I find it interesting.
I totally toyed with the idea at first of using a combination because what Elgato want you to do is they want you to pump everything down into your stream mix so that you're only sending one channel of audio over to OBS. And for most people that are recording or streaming, that's fine because it does a really good job of doing that. But I like everything separated. I like all my channels separated in OBS because when I'm streaming, I also have a system set up on there to record as well. So I want my, like when I'm streaming with Mitts doing the hardcore series, I want mine, Mitts, and the game audio on separate channels. And I can't do that with the Stream Deck Plus on its own because it just pumps everything down to this single channel. And that's why I had to get the Wave XLR thing to go with it, because then it gives you a third output, which is just your microphone. And then you can hook into everything properly. So if I could have done that by keeping the Go XLR as well, but then what's the point? You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
Allow me to pitch in on this one. I don't have a Go XLR and I don't have the new stream thing. I got separate channels on my OBS for everything, literally everything. When I record, for example, using OBS, I record my voice, the Minecraft sound. I got like a channel that I call Discord, which is for calls, right?
Yeah.
I also have my desktop audio, and I got my alerts audio if I want to keep that on the recording, if I'm recording while streaming. And I'm doing all that with software without using hardware.
Yeah. What software do you use for that? Because there's a bunch of different things.
I use a combination of a Voice Meter Banana which is a free software. You can download it for free. And audio cable, like virtual audio cables. They basically allow you to connect this application with this, this application comes through here, through this channel. There are like more channels that allow you to route everything just by using software. Yeah. I say this because I feel like there's like a common belief that you need to have, for example, in order to stream, you need to have certain types of hardware, right? And for example, you were talking, I have a background in sound producing, and it's not that hard really to set these things up. There are a couple tutorials online that you can follow, and you can get all this set up without having to get the hardware. Which a hardware is the plus of hardware is that it processes certain stuff in of itself, right? With the Go XLR, for example.
Yes.
So you're not putting that load on your system. So if you have a less powerful system, doing everything in software may be a little bit more complicated or could cost trouble. But also, I don't know, you have a piece of hardware that may break, it is in of itself. First, you need to invest on it, right? And then that investment has a risk of stopping to work, in a sense, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly how I used to do things myself. Before I ever got a Go XLR, it was exactly that. I didn't get on with Voice Meter Banana, to be honest with you, but I used to use audio cables and do it all software. And that all worked fine. It worked perfectly, but it was always a headache when, let's say you get a Windows update or something would happen and something would change. And then unless you've got it all written down somewhere, exactly how you have it wired in. And I always sort of compare this to like a music studio, because my uncle always used to have a music studio and I used to go in and wire everything up for him. If someone came along and unplugged all of your wires, you got to then go through the process of figuring it all out again to get it how you had it before. And then when you go into things like OBS, because something might have a slightly different signature from the software or a slightly different name, it's forgotten it and you've got to plumb it all in again and it's a nightmare. So that's why I originally went to the Go XLR, because the Go XLR was just fixed. It did everything. All you needed to do was tell OBS what functions there was coming from that hardware. You didn't have to worry about any Windows updates or worries with changes with the software or anything like that. It just worked, which is why I'm nervous about going to the Stream Deck Plus, because that is all software based again. But it does seem like a really useful system. The other advantage of the Go XLR and the Stream Deck Plus is because they've got knobs on or sliders, you've got instant access without having to quit out of your game or go to the pause menu and fiddling with the OBS to just tweak things as you're recording or streaming. So that you can get it right. And because that used to really annoy me when I was doing everything through audio cables, was that if something was loud or if something was too quiet, there's a lot of different bits of software you've got to try and go through to try and find out, is it a Windows problem? Is it an OBS problem? Is it the audio hardware thing? And it works perfectly. And, I'm talking from a very privileged point of view to be able to afford these things.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. Mentally, there was a massive relief going from that before to the Go XLR. I've never felt more comfortable recording or streaming than I did when I had the Go XLR, because it was just so easy. So, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, I get the convenience point, and it is true. For example, I don't know if I've been lucky, but I only had to redo my wiring once in my digital wiring just once since I started streaming, with one Windows update. I always update my Windows and it never breaks anything. I know that's not the experience of everyone. I know that I always go to Twitter and once or twice a month I get someone saying, this Windows update ruined my audio. And I'm like, what? But I am a guy that I like writing down stuff, and I got a setup. I got a little notes in my notes app. I use one app called Notion to organize everything I do. And like I have a little note there that says audio setup. So I can just go, okay, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, and it's ready. So
really
I get
nice.
the convenience. The knobs are convenient. Yes, right. Being able to tweak your audio while live, for example. But that is also one thing that you don't want to do. Like I try to get like, for example, how to say this? I record, I have an instance when I set up my audio and I set out my levels and I do my stuff, which I did not, like, I don't know how long ago. And it's been sitting like that. You have to tweak everything. I don't know if you put background music, tweak it a little bit. But I never found it that inconvenient. But I know that just having a knob is the best. In that point, I agree. You could just go and like the physical feedback of like just going and doing.
Yeah, it is. It's just convenience, and without labouring this too much, because obviously we've got a bunch of other stuff to go through in the podcast. Yeah. But the other aspect of that for me was when I upgraded to my, and this is very, very specific to me and probably doesn't affect many people at all, but when I upgraded to this PC quite a while ago now, I was having these random audio issues where after a couple of hours, for whatever reason, running everything through, I used to use Reaper like you do for my plugins and things like that. Everything would start going, the audio would just go all over the place. It would start with this really weird noise attached to it. And then and it was random. Sometimes it was after 2 hours. Sometimes I could record all day. But yeah, it just started having this big issue, like making a mess of all of the audio. And I could sit there recording, and you wouldn't know about it until you get through your footage. And at that point in time, I was doing like 8 or 9 hour recording sessions with Slack, and I get to look at the footage the next day and realize that half of what we recorded was just totally useless because all of my audio was just broken.
That is the worst.
Yeah. And like, when I bought a Shure SM7B microphone last year, I treated myself thinking, oh, this would be really good for podcasts and everything. And that does exactly the same thing. The other microphones I've got, I've no issues with at all. But after a couple of hours, that just starts adding loads of weird noise to whatever I'm doing. And I don't know if it's an issue running into this PC or what. Or, I mean, it's just going into an XLR interface, so it shouldn't be. Maybe the microphone's broken. But going away from that again to the Go XLR, I just never had any problems or worries. I don't think I've had like one video I've been like, oh, that's garbage, I have to throw it away. Whereas I had it quite a lot previously. So it's just sort of a little safety net, I guess. And that's another thing I'm worried about with this new one, because it's all software again. I'm terrified that this podcast, I'm going to get to edit it tomorrow and it's just going to be a total mess. So we'll see. We will see. Right, anyway, that's enough of our weeks. It's time to find out what everybody else thought of last week's show by going into the feedback. And we're going to start the feedback with Mossy, who said, "Love this week's show as always. The Raspberry Pi is a brilliant piece of kit. I got one of the kit ones for my son a few years ago. At age 8, he loved learning to put all of the components together and then following the built-in Minecraft coding lessons. Maybe a similar kit could be good for Foxy's boy. As always, keep on being excellent, Mossy." Well, thank you very much, Mossy. Just before I let Jesse respond, Rotated Alface responded to that to say, yes, but isn't it pronounced Raspberry Pi? And it is. Last podcast, I was kept saying Raspberry Pi. I don't know why I was doing that. As soon as I went down to edit it, I was like, no, that's a Raspberry Pi. Why do I keep saying Raspberry Pi? Like it's some sort of private investigator. So yeah, I apologise for that. But it's written Pi. It's not written with the Pi symbol. So that's my excuse. Jeez.
That's amazing. Rotated Owlface also says, with regard to obtaining a Pegasus, how about horses bred at a maximum build height, i.e. horses in the sky, have a small chance of producing a baby Pegasus?
Okay, so Bruno, last week, part of the wish list, we wished that in Minecraft you could get a Pegasus, basically a flying horse, but we decided it needed to be really rare. You need to be a really rare spawn. You could only tame it with, I think it was enchanted golden apples, and you couldn't breed them to get more Pegasus. So Rotated Alface there saying, how about, if you take them up to the build height and there's a small chance that when you breed 2 horses up there that you get a baby Pegasus. So
it's interesting. The thing with flying, with like a flying medium, is that you will be competing with the Elytra, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what you need to take into account. And the Elytra is an item you unlock after you finish the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you will be skipping progression when thinking about a flying horse.
Yes.
I think it should require something from the end in order to breed, or something like, because flying is a big advantage. We have played on Truly Bedrock, for example, and before the dragon and after the dragon, everything changes, right?
Yeah,
definitely.
So it is a big advantage being able to fly, and it's interesting, the idea of a Pegasus, of another medium of flying. I think it also, for example, it wouldn't require rockets, but will it require something else? Because the Elytra requires you to build a gunpowder farm, requires you to build a sugarcane farm. So how would, I think, with thinking the idea of the Pegasus, how would that be balanced? What will be the balance of that? I think that's a good point to think.
Yeah, they're all really good points, actually, Bruno. I was thinking that it would probably be a lot slower than the Elytra because obviously you're not using rockets and it's a horse, which is technically quite heavy. So I would imagine it goes a lot slower than the Elytra. And obviously the idea of making it really rare to find one and then actually be able to get one and not be able to breed it would mean that they are scarce. So, but it would still enable you to skip that process, I guess, the way we got it set up, of going to the end. So yeah, really good points there. What do you think, Jesse?
Yeah, I think this is why I like having other points of view too, because we completely didn't think about what that would mean to the game so much as it
We're
was
just excited
fun.
to have a majestic horse you could sit on and fly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I think it's interesting. It could self-balance in a sense, because with the Elytra you just jump and you fly, but with the horse you gotta attach it somewhere, you gotta ride a horse, you gotta get down from the horse. Right, so in of itself, that wouldn't be as convenient as an Elytra. So,
just imagine flying on a horse and you accidentally dismount.
Maybe,
you don't have a or anything.
Yeah, jeez. Maybe when it's in the air, you have to like regularly feed it golden apples to keep its energy up. Maybe instead of like, the horse jump bar, maybe that just starts at full when it takes off and its energy, and when it gets to the bottom, it just falls out of the sky or just glides down
maybe
slowly.
You need to land every now and then.
Maybe don't have it fall out of the sky, but gliding,
yeah, like it runs out of fuel, like effectively, so it can just glide down to wherever you are. I know, it's going to end up in the ocean, isn't it? And horses are terrible at swimming, so it's going to be a nightmare. Yeah, I think that's enough of a. I think that's enough of a problem for it to be okay. Jeez. Okay, Bruno, we've got some more feedback.
Okay. So let me see, Lucas M says, what I would like for the Patreon is to have the podcast live in a channel only for Patreons, which I think is one of the ideas you suggested, or you talked about at the beginning, Foxy, right?
It was, yeah. So we decided we're going to do a monthly record it live in a stage channel in the Discord. And we did talk about that actually in last week's episode, because I thought it should just be locked to patrons in order to make it an actual valuable thing to have. But Jesse and Slack didn't like that. So we decided we were going to alternate it. So we're going to have 1 month it's patron only, and the next month it's open to all of the people in the Discord. And that way it's a bit more fair, although more complicated, but more fair.
No, it's not. It's not even that it's more fair. It's just we've set a precedent of having lives in the Discord, and
we've only done 2.
Hold on, it doesn't matter if we've only done 2. The idea of taking something away that's a feature that we've already given just isn't. It doesn't sit well with me, and it didn't sit well with Slack, because it's icky. Like
it is. You're
I know I say that all the time.
I totally get it.
Yeah,
that is something tricky when you're thinking about Patreon and about giving exclusive stuff, right? Because you never want to take something away, but also then you gotta come up with something new. So I think suggestions. I think it's a good thing to listen to suggestions from people like Lucas here and see what they could actually want.
Yeah,
but yes, it's
I think I think that's why the good medium is having an extra one. Like, because what did we decide every month having one, and then we decided it would be every other month? I don't remember what
we said we were going to do. The last week of each month would be a live one, and every other live one would be patrons only. But just to go into, giving things and taking them away, don't forget that the podcast doesn't have any ads now. So we've people are getting a better experience listening to the podcast now. So that's why I didn't feel quite so guilty about effectively taking something away we've only done 2 of. But I totally agree with you, and I think that's a happy compromise that we've found. So we'll just see how we get on with that.
Yeah.
Okay, Tempered says, from the wiki, disguise. Wearing the corresponding mob head reduces the detection range for skeletons, but not with the skeletons, creepers, zombies, and piglins. Upcoming Java Edition 1.20 and Bedrock Edition 1.20 to 50% of the normal range. This is similar to and stacks with the reductions in detection range from sneaking and from the invisibility status effect. So there we go. We talked about the fact that we wanted the mob heads, the new mob heads that's in, well, I suppose they're not new. The piglin one's new. We wanted the mob heads in the game to actually reduce the amount that the mob of the same type would notice you, but apparently that's already in the game. So there we go.
Yes, I knew about that feature. It's interesting, but because you will have to sacrifice your helmet in order to get that benefit, and I feel like it will never, who will go, okay, there are some creepers over there, I'm gonna put on my creeper face. No one's gonna do that. So I feel like it's more like a curiosity.
I thought it would my idea for the wish list was that it would just totally negate, them spotting you unless you actually went up and hit one. Instead of having the gold helmet or the gold clothes when you go into the nether, just put a piglin head on and mix in if you like. But that was poo-pooed by everybody. They didn't like that idea. Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, bad ideas are better than no ideas, so Foxy, keep them coming.
Exactly. There's no such thing as a bad idea, Bruno.
Out of Dutch says, love the podcast as always. Keep up the good work. Happy to help support your work via Patreon, even if it's only a little. Every little bit is amazing. Don't ever feel like it's not. Because, we appreciate it.
I feel like sometimes people, if, for example, viewers underestimate the value of their support and what it means. Also what it means, right? To have people believing in what you do and supporting what you do, even if it's $1, $0.50, whatever it is. It means not just for the monetary value, but also nothing for the...
validation.
Not emotional, no.
Yeah.
What it means, okay, I'm supporting what you do. I like what you do. It provides value to me. It makes my life better in some way. And I want to, make it so it's still around. Because making content and everything, it consumes time and effort. And I don't know, for example, Jesse was talking about the imposter syndrome. It's taxing also emotionally to a sense. And sometimes when you are self-doubting, when you have doubts about what you do, if what you do has value or not, knowing that there's people that support it means a lot from a mental health point too. So never underestimate the value of your support, even if it's just a little out of touch. It means a lot. And I'm sure Foxy and Jesse agree with me.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Bruno. That's a really lovely way to put it. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, we got a feedback from Plot saying, I love the tense music bed for the quiz questions. And I gotta say, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm going to answer a quiz now.
So last week we had a quiz. We had some quiz questions. We've got plenty more. We actually asked people to send in quiz questions, and we got a whole bunch. We probably won't end up doing one today because I think this is probably going to be quite a long podcast with everything we've got going on anyway. But through that, I underlaid some sort of tense quiz show music to sort of accentuate the quiz, and it seems that Plod enjoyed that. So thank you, Plod. Appreciate that. Victim says, I think all skeletal horses could be potential Pegasus. Cure them with a netherite apple, 15% chance of success. Jeez, wow. Failed attempts destroy the napple and horse. And the horse, jeez. Success restores the flesh and wings to the creature. As an Easter egg, have a death scream of the failed attempt be thank you played backwards because the horse is grateful for being released from its skeletal enslavement.
Oh my gosh.
People really want it to be difficult, don't they? A 15% chance of success with a netherite apple. Wow.
And then the horse goes. Wow.
Yeah, well, too late, mate. You failed. Jeez, what do you think, Bruno? That sounds like hard work to me.
It sounds, because when you think about a netherite apple, it's almost a netherite block, right? It will be like a golden apple that you do like 8 ingots.
Yeah,
and the apple,
very expensive.
So it's quite expensive. It's very expensive. A 15% chance is 1 out of 4. So 1 out of 4 times you do it, everything's going to explode.
25% is 1 out of 4.
25? 25. Okay, less.
Yeah, so it's 15.
It's
I don't know
hardly
exactly
any.
what, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, 1 in 6, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, it's not much. So, yeah, no thanks, victim.
Too hard. That we went over to the other side. Too much. Red Monkey 8 says, hey Foxy, in a silent whisper video, he experimented with an AI called ChatGPI. Was that the one you were talking about on the podcast? If it was, then Jesse doesn't need to worry as it gave horrible Minecraft.
It was that exact one, yeah. It's ChatGPT, and I just watched Silent Whisper's video before this podcast to check that out. At a lot of the occasions in his video, it was right. But you have to remember that the cutoff for its knowledge is 2 years ago. However, some of the stuff it came up with was totally inexcusably wrong. But it's just an AI that's just learned things from looking at the internet. So, and then it tries to put it all together. So the fact that it was giving totally amazing responses, like totally exactly what Silent asked for, but wrong, is just incredible in the sense. But I think the power of that AI doesn't come from asking it for Minecraft tips. I think it comes from asking it to do things for you. You know, the worry for me from that thing was that I can honestly see it replacing jobs in a lot of circumstances because it's so intelligent and because it's so good at, like, you ask it to write you say, okay, right, I'm writing this story and it's about a kid that's at school and he does this and he does that and he does that, and you give it some groundwork and ask it to write the first chapter and it will do it and it will be brilliant, and it might not be exactly what you want, but then you can say, yeah, but then make it like this. Or if you ask it to write a movie script, it will do it. And it will write it in the right way. And then all you got to do is copy paste that and send it to your boss. And if your boss gets wind of the fact that ChatGPI's done it, then you don't need to have a job anymore. So
maybe tweak it a little bit, but it does reduce a lot of work and a lot of things. You can't. I feel like it's still not reliable enough, so you can take everything it says like for granted and say, okay, we'll copy this and paste it here.
Yeah.
But it does save a lot of work regarding tons of aspects of producing certain types of content.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And it's interesting too, because you can think, okay, it can destroy some jobs, but it also, I don't know, it's kind of like, because it's cheaper, right? It will be cheaper to run this AI than to pay someone to do a job. But also, because it's cheaper, it's more accessible to more people too. Like, for example, if you are just starting as a content creator and you want, I don't know, a script reading or I don't know, something that you will need to hire someone to do it. Now you don't, into a point. So it's
very enabling.
An interesting balance.
Yeah.
As long as you're not asking it facts, as long as you're asking it to do something for you and not asking it for facts, it's very, very powerful. and it will make people's workloads generally easier and a lot easier in certain circumstances. And the other thing about it is you're getting a totally unbiased response. The response you're getting through that, where if you're making a film or a TV show or even a song like Bruno, right, and you ask, let's use Bruno's song as an example here. So he's gone to his audience to ask for lines for this song, and all of those lines are going to be completely and utterly biased towards their understanding of what the situation was, the fact that they're all fans of Bruno, the fact that there's a lot of in-jokes. It doesn't mean it's going to be bad. But you ask an artificial intelligence to do that just has access to everything, then it's going to give you a completely genuine, fresh, never done before, unbiased thing that no one, it's not just taking the bounds of creativity and making them a bit bigger. It's completely releasing them from what normal people could do, because everyone is biased by their background or their upbringing or their likes and dislikes and their beliefs, whereas this isn't. It's just like, I can give you that, no problem, there you go.
Kind of.
Yeah.
When you think about it, AIs are trained on databases, right? So if there is a bias on the database, then that gets translated.
Yeah,
to the
absolutely.
AI.
Yeah, if it's only allowed to access certain things, then yeah, there is going to be some bias there. But assuming it's got access to enough stuff that it knows about the ins and outs of Minecraft, whether or not it's got it all right or not, but it's got an understanding of Minecraft, you've got to assume that it's got access to a very, very large database, and they're
yes, but here's
much
the thing
larger
that
than people
think,
have.
Like when you say, okay, I asked it Minecraft tips and it just said whatever, right? It said stuff that was clearly wrong. Well,
Yeah.
how much bad Minecraft advice there is online? You go to a forum, you say, okay, if will stuff spawn on this block, and there's people saying, no, it won't, and you know it does. Like, how much bad...
every single video,
right?
every single stream, yeah.
Maybe there's maybe there's so much bad Minecraft information online in like forums and stuff that the AI learned that, and now it's giving the wrong answers.
Yeah, so it's all you guys out there that always just assume things and say it without checking it first. You've broken the AI. It's your fault.
It's your fault.
Yeah. Okay, jeez. Right, moving on.
Moving on, we got Big Team saying super excited to have Bruno on the show. Hello. Missing him on TV a lot. Oh, I miss TV too. I gotta say it. I love the best thing about Truly Bedrock, and it's something. It's kind of like, I feel a little bit bad about saying this because it's not something like the viewer gets access to in a sense. But the best part is the human group, and the thing I love the most about being in Truly Bedrock was the group of creators being able to be. It's you guys. We said it internally, and I don't know if you guys have said it externally too. It's kind of like a family in a sense, and it's like a support group. Because we all have, as we talked earlier, we all have insecurities, so we all have doubts. Like, we are learning, like, content creation is something you are never, like, done. Okay, I am now a content creator. You're always learning, for example, stuff, and having access to a circle of people that are so open. They are, like, open to sharing their experiences, and they do it in such a nice way. I always say it whenever somebody from Truly Bedrock comes to my streams. I think it's one of the best content creator groups from the human perspective. I always, like, we talk with you, Foxy, for example, about YouTube stuff, and you always gave me your thoughts, and like, honestly, like, it's like everybody on Truly Bedrock wants everybody else to succeed in the group, which is not something that happens everywhere. And I feel that makes it really valuable.
It's really nice that there is that sort of sense of team rather than it being like, oh, we're all content creators in competition with each other, so I'm not going to share anything. But it's not. It's like, yeah, we all want everybody to do well and to succeed and to grow. And generally speaking, when we've got free time between ourselves, we do try and help each other out wherever we can. So, it's nice.
It is really nice. Nothing. Truly Bedrock peeps are great.
Thank you.
And we miss you, Bruno.
Oh,
I miss you guys too. I miss you guys.
Sorry, guys. I miss you too, Bruno.
No. Okay.
Sorry,
we are having a moment here. You just scream on top of us.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's my whole thing.
But do your thing now.
Yep. Okay, go.
Jeez. Okay. Right. We're going to just run through the rest of this feedback quickly because we've still got a whole bunch, and we're making tracks in this podcast very quickly. Jeez. Okay. Oname Patman says, "Hello, unofficial unemployed by Jeff because he's obviously the centre of the world podcast crew. I had a thought that the world isn't real and that every single voice I hear is another one of Foxy's many, many voices. That would mean that Foxy's controlling the world. Don't worry, Jesse. AI is already controlled in the world of FOXY. Funny, observant, extraterrestrial. Yeah. Great podcast. Hope the robots don't take over tomorrow. Oh, man, I've been found out. Jeez. Move on quick, Jesse, before everyone realizes.
Okay, but LOL123 says, I can't join your Discord on mobile, but I can on other devices, but it's not active. I'm in another server, and whenever I say something, I get a reply quickly, even if they're offline. Good podcast, might be patron.
That's amazing that you get replies from offline people. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I was wondering how that works. Maybe they are hiding.
Yeah, they're all appearing offline, hoping that you're not there. I think in that other Discord. Obviously it's early days for us. I mean, we haven't had the Discord that long. We're not a huge podcast, so there's not going to be that many people there. And the people that are there probably, busy with their real lives doing other things. It's not like you come into a huge, like a Minecraft, like the Minecraft Discord or some sort of huge, big branded Discord. You're just joining a Discord full of, a couple of hundred like-minded people that are very busy doing other things. So I guess people go there to talk about the show and share their feedback and bugs and wish list and stuff like that. And occasionally there's a bit of banter going on in the general chat, but most of the time it's relatively quiet. But it's just because of the size of it, I guess, and probably the people that are in it in a nice way.
P. The Boss says, can you please include timestamps for different things you talk about in the podcast? News, backdate, and feedback. Thanks, Be the Boss. What do you think?
They were until I moved everything over to our own system. I had that in every single podcast, and I took it out. Because it didn't make much sense taking up half the description and the show notes with timestamps when I put them on the YouTube version. The YouTube version's got them all for chapters, but podcast players don't have chapter points. They don't allow you to do it. Yeah. So you would literally have to go into the description and find what time it was and then scrub through for it. So it just seemed to me like
and you know how it is trying to land on the right second and you go back a little bit it's not that convenient, right?
Exactly. That's exactly it. So I just thought, well, it's pointless having it in there in the show notes when I'm not everybody, but when my experience, when I listen to a podcast, I just turn it on and it's either in the background or while I'm driving or while I'm out walking. I'm not really fiddling with it to get to a different bit. So there's always a skip ahead video. There's button if you're feeling a bit bored. There's normally a 10 or 30 second jump ahead button on most podcast players. So maybe just spam that until you find a bit that you like. Be the boss. Jeez. Okay, Benji says, hey everybody, psst, Foxy, you updated the website and it looks great. Anyway, about recording on iPad. On iPad Pros, you can attach any keyboard or a controller, so you could still be playing the same way you usually do, just on a smaller screen, and it would cost you a lot less to do it. Even then, if you didn't want to edit it on your iPad, you could send it to your computer and edit it there. The only problem is that you would be stuck to a charger pretty often. Plus, and maybe a negative, since the iPad needs to charge regularly, it could encourage you to take breaks. This is probably not ideal for you guys since you have work to do so often, but I thought I would put it out. As we've said over the last couple of podcasts, I think there's a massive scope to be able to do this sort of thing on iPads and stuff like that now, rather than having big old computer systems and power-hungry graphics cards. And I can see as things move on in the future, more and more people will probably be creating content in that way just because of the convenience of it all and the power in those devices to do it. But it is nice to just go to your desk and know that you've got everything. Just turn it on and it works, and you're not, waiting on Apple pinging you every 10 seconds because you haven't updated to the latest version.
Yeah.
Jeez, what do you think, Bruno? Would you ever edit and record Minecraft videos on a tablet?
I will never in my current situation, but again, you need to think where everybody's coming from, right? And I feel like if it's the only medium you have, then keep at it and try to do the best you can with that. You always got to make the most of what you have, right? I love the computer. I love computers or everything else, including consoles, iPad stuff. I feel like the computer is the best thing. But if you got if an iPad is what you got, then use it. I feel like you should never say, okay, I can't make a video because I don't have a computer. I just have this iPad and it's not that good. Do it anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, why not? Benji says, also, if you thought Squirrelicious time listening to the podcast was a lot, you were my top podcast listened to on Spotify this year. And I listened to a grand total of 5,802 minutes. And I loved it all. Let's see how much I can listen to you guys next year. Keep up the great work for at least a couple more years. Actually, don't stop. Just pass it on generation by generation. Oliver already loves Minecraft, right? Hope you're having a great day.
Wow, that's 96.7 hours in total that you've listened to, Benji. Good going. Yeah,
that isn't a lot.
For anybody wondering what that's all about with the Squirrelicious bit, basically Spotify, a little bit like Twitch do, every year they'll send you out like an email or a message saying this is how much you listen to this podcast, and basically patting you on the back for using their service. And we got quite a few people showing that they'd listened to us a lot. So yeah, Benji, that's crazy. Well done. Thank you.
Okay, it's my turn again. Turtley78 says, hi. Update podcast crew says, I was wondering if Foxy wouldn't mind adding a search feature in the good ideas tab of the website so it will be easier to find a specific one. Cheers, Turtley.
Don't you worry about it, Turtley. I had a word with the peeps at Google, right? And they've told me that they've now implemented this amazing feature where if you go to like edit, or if you can use a keyboard shortcut, just Control F, you can search for anything you want on a web page. It's incredible. And they added that in just for us. So yeah, you can go along to the Minecraft Update podcast website now, go to the good ideas page and just hit Control F or edit and search, and you can search for whatever you want. Easy. I don't have to do any work. Thanks, Google. Appreciate it. I wish you'd update our podcast feed, though.
Always on point.
Lucas M. Loves Pants says, I love the Minecraft Update podcast so much, and I'm so happy that Bruno will be on this week. I hope it's a quicker updates. I hope the quicker updates.
Hello, Lucas.
Oh, jeez. I hope the quicker updates to Java won't introduce a lot of new bugs like the Bedrock monthly ones do. I know that's my big worry, Lucas, is that when they start doing regular Java updates like they do Bedrock ones every month, it's going to not have time to go through all of the quality assurance that they normally do, and there'll be some bad bugs entered into the game. That being said, Bedrock Edition has been, I don't want to say it because I don't want to jinx it, but it's been pretty bug-free on the most part for a little while now. They're doing a good job with it, so maybe they have got the right idea. Maybe it's just us that gets it wrong. I don't know. Anyway, that is it from the feedback today. If you want to leave any feedback, you can email us at news@theminecraftupdate.com, or you can fill in our handy feedback form, which is on our website. Or if you want to be really handy, you can join our Discord and leave it there, because that's the most convenient for me. The links to all those things are in the show notes or the description below. Right, it is time for the news, peeps, and I'm going to blast through this as quickly as possible because it's not all that interesting. We have 3 releases this week. We've got 2 stable releases and a preview as well, starting with Minecraft Bedrock 1.19.51, which is a hotfix for 1.19.50, which has fished a crash. That's good. It's fixed a nondescript crash. They don't say what it was, but it's fixed. Jeez, it's fixed one. Pistons, they can no longer recreate moving blocks that were destroyed mid-move. So I'm assuming there must have been some sort of duplication glitch there that's been patched out. Horses can no longer be pushed over fences with carpets on top. The structure blocks now have access to the Y value field, so you can use them properly. And if you play on Switch, the touch control selection screen will no longer appear. So there you go. And there's a couple of other technical things as well, but it's pretty light, as you would expect for a hotfix. So any thoughts on that, Pete, before I go on to the next amazing news article?
Nope.
No.
No? Okay. Right, into Minecraft Beta and Preview 1.19.60.23. There's quite a lot of... Well, actually, there isn't. There's not all that much stuff in here, but I have highlighted some things, starting with the respawn anchor that now doesn't retain its charge if you silk touch it or pick block it, whereas apparently before you could fill it full of charge, silk touch it and put it down again and it would have all of its charge still in. So a bit of a nerf to that, but I can't imagine anyone was really making a great deal of use out of that. Skulk Shrieker sound has been increased to 32 blocks, so you'll be able to hear that from a lot further away now. And bamboo saplings will no longer replace double plants when placed, and I didn't realise they did that. A big controversial one, and one that's come up in our Bugdate, I believe, today, or maybe the question section, is that campfires do not set players and mobs on fire anymore. However, I think there's some confusion here because it still inflicts damage. They just don't have the fire animation on them, which is a bit odd. I don't know why they've chosen to go down that route. But yes, you can still use them in your mob farms and things like that. They just won't have all of those animations. Also, with campfires, they no longer break boats and minecarts, which I think's probably a good idea, I guess. What do you guys think? Do you use that?
I'm just trying to, how would you throw a minecart to the campfire? I don't know in which situation would you do that, but still.
I guess, you know how you have railways that have a cactus at the end to pop you out of the minecart and then a hopper around it to eat that? Well, with a campfire, because the campfire wouldn't actually eat the item, you could drop your rail onto a campfire that had a hopper underneath it, I guess. So there's probably slightly safer way of doing it than using a cactus. But I don't imagine there's that many people using that system. Certainly not for boats.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I don't think that one's a big deal, but I don't really see a problem with them just taking away the fire animation. But I did see that was like a big hubbub all over everywhere. People were freaking out. So good. I think that was because you can still use them.
Oh, go on, Bruno.
No, I think the only problem with that is that if you use it to kill, let's say, a cow, the steak it will not be cooked. Previously you could make a cooked steak farm.
Oh,
now you can't.
That's a good point.
That's the only factor. I think that's the only factor I've seen. I've read also on Twitter the discussions regarding this topic. I saw many people confusing the fact that tons of people thought it wouldn't damage. So they will say oh, my farm is now useless because I use campfires. But I feel like the only thing should be making it fire damage, so it counts as as the meat has been cooked, and with that fix, I think it will be enough. Yeah, I don't know why I don't know.
I guess that's probably why they did it, to nerf that, because that is quite an OP of having a cooked meat farm, I guess. I mean, there are obviously other ways of doing that, but that's probably why they've gone down that route then. Interesting. Okay, other notes on this changelog are that ender pearls will no longer TP sleeping players. So again, I can't imagine anyone ever actually using this for anything useful, but apparently if you threw an ender pearl before and then went to sleep, it would be dragged out of bed and ended up where the ender pearl went. But that won't happen anymore. Ravagers can now attack when they're standing on partial blocks, which is good because farmland and mud keep getting fiddled with, and when they were on farmland, they couldn't attack. And now they can. And one big change to this for technical people such as myself that like doing add-ons and maps and things like that is that they have opened up the Minecraft shooter component for entities to allow a much bigger range of customization for what things can fire, what entities can shoot, and that includes the player. So anything that can throw a snowball or fire an arrow or anything like that has a component called Minecraft Shooter, and now you can customize it with different different sounds, different throwing powers, and you can even tell it whether the attack's a magic attack or not, so that it can bypass things like shields and armor. So that's pretty fancy. I'm happy about that one. Looking forward to using it. But that's pretty much it for that changelog. Any thoughts on any of those things, peeps?
Nope.
Good.
No, I'm thinking I want to try the Ender Pearl bed one now. I would like to go back and try it, but I just want to throw an Ender Pearl and sleep, but okay.
I wonder if you'd still be sleeping, but just somewhere else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be nice. You will be laying on the floor. I don't know if you guys knew, but on Java, if you're flying on your Elytra and you left click on the bed while you're flying, you're kind of bounce on it and land on the floor, but you'll still be sleeping. Yes.
Amazing.
And when you wake up at the bed, but like you graphically appear like falling from the bed on the floor.
Oh, nice.
So I feel like it will be something along those lines. You throw a pearl, you sleep, and then you're sleeping on the ground outside your base.
That would be very entertaining. I want to try and check that now. Right, the next changelog is for Minecraft Java 1.19.3, which has finally officially been released. Bruno, I'm sure you are keen on this one because you play a lot of Java Edition, although I imagine you'll probably be waiting until all of your fancy fabrics and all of those things have caught up with it before you jump over to it.
They have already. I already updated both my client and the community server. Everything came out super quickly, actually. It was quite interesting. But I love this update just because of one thing.
Go on.
They added a game rule to enable or disable global sounds. I don't know if in Bedrock it is like that, but on Java, if you, for example, you kill a wither, everybody that's playing at that moment, before this update could hear it dying.
Yeah.
And if somebody was fighting the dragon?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you go through the end portal, everybody hears that sound. So you know, like, who's the first person on the server to go through the end portal.
Yeah. So now that is toggleable. And the first thing I did when I updated my community server was I logged in and I disabled it. Because you could get, like, a wither spam, for example. Or somebody was fighting dragons and every 5 minutes you will hear from everywhere.
It does seem like an odd
one. It's a super
one.
loud thing.
Why are they global? Why? I don't know. It's a bit of a strange one.
I always ask, before this point, I was always like, why is this a thing? Like, I'm on the overworld building my base, and suddenly, like, because it will be scary. You're building your base, and somebody's fighting the dragon. You hear, whoa, and the dragon one sounds like it's super long. It's not like it dies, right? It's like, whoa.
Yeah. Jeez.
It's like super long.
Okay, well, aside from that, there are millions of things in this changelog. It's an incredibly long changelog, so of course I'm not going to go through it all, but I have picked out some interesting things. The key things I think that have been added to this update are the new creative inventory. The way that's been reorganized looks, I think, personally, a lot better. Do you like it, Bruno?
Yeah, it's super cool. Yeah. I think that, like, the creative inventory has been like that since, I don't know when. Like, they never took a moment to rethink it, and I feel like they finally doing it now. It's great.
Yeah, I hope they do something similar with Bedrock, because the creative inventory on there is rubbish. The operator tab's been added, which is something I would particularly like. The Vex, of course, has its new look and its new shape, and the nether light levels have been nerfed to prevent the portal farms. How do you feel about that one, Bruno?
I think it's good because portal farms are super easy to set up. And they are super powerful too. It's like it's the most efficient farm type, and it's super easy to build. Usually, you want to have like a compromise, right? Like if a farm is harder to build, it should yield better results, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And this broke with that rule. And there are many people from the technical community, for example, that were developing farms that were more complicated and used more sophisticated mechanics, but still it wouldn't make sense to build them because this farm that was super easy to build will produce more. So I think it's a good change.
Yeah, good. Okay, strongholds. If you've got a stronghold, or maybe you think you know where one is, they might not be there anymore because they've changed how the stronghold placement code is done to make it more efficient. And that does mean they will have moved around a little bit. So, you know, if you're using one of these apps to find where your stronghold is, it might not be overly correct anymore. They've added some more commands. Again, wish these are on Bedrock Edition. The first one is fill biome, which I've wanted for forever.
Oof.
And the pub. Yeah. Have you used it yet?
Yes, I made a short about it, actually. Because previously you had to use a mod in order to do it. And for example, I have a plot world in my community, and at one point we wanted to build the Nether Hub, right? But it's only an overworld only thing. So like I had to go and get world edit and tell it to change a certain part of that world to like another biome, and then restart the server, and then go back online. And now you can just do it with a command. Just from here to here,
things
this
like,
biome.
For servers, being able to fill command like the spawn chunks as mushroom biomes, so you don't just have it filling up with
that will be amazing.
mobs. Yeah, things like that. It's really useful. There's also a publish command to open your world to land now rather than having to go through the menu. And you can even choose a port to open it up to as well, which is, I don't really see the technical reasons for that, but it exists. They've added the telemetry stuff, which we've gone over before. And as Bruno said, there's a whole bunch of new game rules, including being able to turn water sources on and off and lava sources on and off, which I think were quite interesting as well. And there's a billion bug fixes in there. That's about it. I'm not going to keep going on about it because I think we've all had enough of the news, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm up to date now.
Good. I'm
know
glad
everything I need to know.
what's going on.
Yes. Thank you so much, Foxy.
You're welcome. Right, okay, so that is enough of the news. It is time to go into the bug date and find out what has been bugging everybody in Minecraft. And I can't see anything listed for me, Bruno, or Jesse, so the game's obviously perfect.
Obviously.
Yeah. You got no bugs, Bruno? Nothing bugging you? Nothing broken you wish was a bit different?
No. Java is perfect. It has no bugs.
Oh, good. Good. Excellent. Right. In that case, we better find out what all of these people have been lying about in the community bug dates, starting with Global Rhino, who's claiming that they've got a weird bug on mobile. Where it won't let them craft a furnace with cobbled deep slate. It flashes into my inventory, then momentarily disappears. So, but apparently, Global Rhino, that's not true. You're full of it. There's no bugs in Minecraft, so let's move on.
Yeah. It let you craft it. It's just that it disappeared afterwards.
Yeah, it just can't give it to you.
Use error. You should be quick. Grab it faster.
The Big Blue Frog says, I had a similar problem with a crafting table last night. I think it's a new 1.19.50 bug. I quit the app and restarted, and it worked again. I will say that reminds me. Is it a bug when you're like crafting something like bone meal into bone blocks, right? And then so you're just going, you're automatically doing it. And then for some reason, it won't let you do it anymore. And it takes the items, then it puts them back. And it just it won't let you do anything. And you have to completely exit out of the inventory.
And
then you go back.
Mouse cursor.
Yeah. What is that?
It's just
what
you're
is that?
clicking too fast, Jesse B. You're clicking too fast. Minecraft no like it.
Oh, well, I don't like that. Make that go away.
Okay. I'll do my best.
Okay, I got one from Tempered saying, I found a fun one today. It's always good when you find a fun bug. When underwater and trying to place blocks on waterlogged stairs above the surface. This confused me a little bit. The blocks stack vertically. The blocks stack vertically above the stairs like scaffolds, or don't place at all. That is interesting. I would like to try that one.
Yeah,
we've
had a few like that on Bedrock recently.
Yeah, the vertical stacking is happening a lot with blocks that I'm placing just anywhere. Doesn't have to be on water. Just I'll be going along and all of a sudden I have like a 5-high stack of blocks and I'm like, I can't even reach that. Like, why? What happened there?
When Slack and I were building a witch farm, there was we were in a swamp, obviously, because where witch huts are, and we needed to fill in the floor around the witch hut. And obviously it's full of seagrass. So as I'm running along with my blocks, placing them as you do, like holding it down and just running and placing them. And nearly every other block that I try to place, I walk in forward, no blocks are placed, and I look behind me and there's a tower of dirt behind me. I'm like, wow, I'm not even looking in that direction. So, yeah, thanks, game. It's so nice to us all. Brood591 says, Minecraft is not so fun. Whenever I log into Minecraft, my skin gets reset to one of the new default skins. I just want to be me. It happens on PS4 and PC. I'm sorry, Brood.
Poor Brood.
How are they going to get everyone to know about the new default skins unless they force them on you?
Poor Brood. Mies John says, I'd like this bug to be reopened. I have a raid farm in Foxy's challenge server, And Evoker can see the golems that are standing outside the kill zone through stone. Good luck with your new Vex farm, Foxy and Slack.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, the Evokers have this incredible ability to be able to see things through walls somehow. Now, obviously, so on our iron raid farm that we've built, they're all falling into a trident killer. And generally speaking, if you've thrown a trident and a mob falls into it, because it's counted as a player hit kill, which is exactly why trident killers work, that mob will fix onto you even if you are out of their field of view, which it shouldn't, because they should only be able to lock onto you if they can see you, I think. But the Evoker goes one step further, and it will look at iron golems through walls as well, even if the iron golem's done nothing wrong, and it just spews out Vexes, which then come and to attack you while you're AFK at the iron farm, which is lovely. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's my turn. Okay. No, it's Jesse. No, it's my turn. Okay, the big blue frog. The big blue frog, I love that name, by the way, says, couple of new bugs in 1.19.50. First, random signs on realms losing their text. Okay, that can be annoying.
Yeah.
And they even include the bug tracker link over there, which is nice. And then second is chunks on displayed maps in item frames showing underground instead of surface features. That's a strange one. So you're mapping your base, you go and you place the maps, you look at them, and there's like a cave. Like a quarter of it's a cave.
That would be weird.
That's
Imagine
bizarre.
you did map art, you spend hours on it, and then you go, I'm going to look at my map art. Half of it is a cave.
So that's got to have come around from very, very recently on Bedrock, Bruno. We had a lovely bug when they introduced 1.19.40, which made all of your maps have huge black spots over them because it couldn't load the chunks in properly. And then they fixed that by just adding in any data that it could find, which turned out to be underground chunks. And now it looks like they've gone a step further and they've added just underground chunks into your maps, which is lovely. So thanks for that.
Nice.
Really appreciate it.
I remember
really
a fun story regarding maps when I was on Truly Bedrock. I don't know. I know you remember, Foxy. This is the thing. I didn't know, but this is what happened because of a story bit, which I supposedly came from like another dimension, right? And I was looking for my base that I supposedly built. And the way I looked for it was by making maps and flying around and just filling random maps to see, like, I was trying to find my base. Okay, where is it? And I fully filled 4 maps just for story, not even for anything else. I didn't need them. And then I released the video, and on the Truly Bedrock Discord, like, Bruno, you made maps on the server.
Yeah, we were pretty bad about maps at one point. It was after we discovered that maps was what nearly killed Season 1. In Bedrock Edition, for every map you make, even if it's a copy of a map or just a map item, the database stores 5 different versions of that map. And if you burn the map or you get rid of the map or you delete the map, they don't take it out of the database. And it's a very small amount per map. But it turned out, like on Truly Bedrock Season 1 at the end of that, we had like 5,000 maps data stored in there somehow, just from finding maps in treasure boxes and all that sort of thing, which was adding like, I think it was like 400 or 500 megabytes to the world, which was crazy. And there was no way of getting rid of them. So at that point, I wrote a script that did get rid of them, but then obviously updates happened and that stopped working. So we're not quite as fussy about it now because back then on Bedrock Edition, the world file size had a massive impact on playability and lag. Like if your world got close to a gigabyte or over it, there was just noticeable lag everywhere, whereas that doesn't happen now. So we're not quite as fussy, but we still haven't enabled treasure maps in any of the boxes or anything like that because we're still like, yeah, but we don't need maps. But if someone wants to make maps, they're allowed, as long as there's not just making them for the sake of making them. Yeah. Okay, the first one, the random signs losing their text, the big blue frog. I can only imagine that all of the signs in your world were full of filth. Jeez. No, what they've done is they've fiddled with the, what's it called, profanity filter. And I think they might have turned it up to 11. So it's finding lots of words now that aren't actually profanity, deciding that it's not allowed to be on, and because it's a realm which is public access, well, not public, but you know what I mean. It's a thing that's you're paying for. It's a service, and it's got to be kid friendly. If a sign that exists has got what it considers profanity on it, it will just won't let you write that sign, or existing signs. It'll all turn into hashtags or just go blank. And I remember my first time ever finding that was early on in Bedrock. I think it might have been Truly Bedrock. It might have been before Truly Bedrock, but I was putting a sign above a chest that was my junk chest, and I kept trying to write junk chest on it. It kept deleting the sign. And I'm like, why is he not letting me write junk chest on there? And it turned out, apparently, junk's a naughty word. I shouldn't have been writing it. So, yeah, now you know. Right. That is the end of this week's Bugdate. We got through that nice and quickly, which is good because now it's time to get into the nitty-gritty with Bruno and find out all about who is this guy that's been talking for so long already in today's podcast. What's he up to? Why is he here? Who is he? And all of those questions that we're going to be asking him. Right, so Bruno, first question is the obvious one. Who are you? Who's Bruno?
Who is Bruno? My name is Bruno, and I am from a small country called Uruguay. I don't know if many people listening to this podcast know where that country is, but it's a small country in South America, right between Argentina and Brazil. And yes, I am a Minecraft content creator. I make videos for YouTube. I stream a lot, and I do stuff in my community. I think those are the three big points of what I do. And I don't know, who are you? Like, there's tons of stuff I could talk about. When I was a kid, I liked collecting tadpoles. No, wait, no, I did. Like, okay, I think that...
you nailed it there, from Uruguay. That was lovely, thank you. So, are you a full-time or part-time content creator? Do you do it all the time?
I am a full-time content creator, actually, and I have been since February 2021.
Oh, wow.
I just didn't publicly say it. When I went full-time, I didn't say, okay, guys, I'm going full-time.
I've seen many people. I'm going full-time.
yeah, but it's kind of joking, but also I feel like telling to your community that you are going full-time puts a little bit of pressure on them, right? Yeah. And I wanted to be able to say, okay, I've been doing this full time for like a long time. I did actually, I think it was over a year. I said publicly that I went full time when I opened my Patreon a couple months ago, and nothing. Yes, I am a full-time content creator, and it's... How to say this? It's an interesting point, right? The full-time, part-time. I think it's also related to where I'm from and what. Nothing. How to say this in a way that is. Let me see. I don't talk that much about this, but Uruguay is a third world country, so I like the requirements. The financial requirements for me to go full-time are less than for somebody that, let's say, is in the States or is on Europe. Or something like that. So I got a little help from that side, which is great for me because I love doing what I do, so I can do it full time.
That's I don't know. I want to say that's cool, but obviously
that's really interesting.
Nice. I think it's cool.
Interesting, yeah.
I think it's cool. For me, it's cool.
No, I'm glad that's it. You're so positive all the time. We'll get to that in a minute.
I know.
Anyway. So before you were full-time then, obviously you mentioned you did stuff with music and audio. Was that what your full-time job was before? You were an audio engineer?
Before I started... Okay, the story is this. I think it's better to start from the beginning. Because I started streaming during the pandemic, right?
Yep.
Before the pandemic, I used to work at my dad's business part-time. They sold computer stuff, computer parts. They fix computers. They bought and they sell stuff for printers and all that stuff. I also was a music teacher. I used to work at an academy, and I had my particular students. And I was in a band, a Beatles tribute band. So I used to work a lot, literally. I will go out at 8 in the morning, come back at 11 p.m. because they're usually like I will go to my work on the business in the mornings, then in the afternoons I will teach lessons, and then at night had rehearsal with the band.
Wow.
So I used to work quite a lot. But when the pandemic came, things changed, right? For example, I was a performing musician. I was not like a recording musician, let's say. We will do Beatle covers, for example, right? So that is something you have to perform live. Like, there's no value in you recording Beatle songs. But like, I don't know, maybe a little bit. You know, for marketing reasons, sometimes for an ad or something, we did some recordings. But you don't go and record albums and try to sell them, right? That's not the main point. So with the pandemic, the performing part of being a musician took a hit. Basically, everything stopped. So there were no live performances. From a music teacher perspective, it also was problematic because like the academy closed its doors and everything started being online, and that didn't work for everybody. Like, I think people are familiar with like the issues that education had with the pandemic, right? Not being able to go to a place, interact with the teacher. So that also slowed down quite a bit. And I don't know, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have tons of time now, and I love playing games. I always love playing games. I say, why not stream? Like, I will stream. I started streaming for myself. I took it as English lessons. Like, I wanted to practice speaking in English. So I will start streaming. I will go live and then just talk talk with myself, trying to put my thoughts into words. I always read English a lot and, used it in like games or online. It's something that if you speak English, you don't realize a lot. And it has changed a little bit now, but like the most reliable information about stuff is usually in English. English opens you the door to the world, basically. So like everything, the programs I use were in English. The best tutorials are in English for everything you want to do. And I used to interact with English from a passive standpoint, right? I will read and listen, but I didn't speak that much. So that was my weak point. So I started like just, streaming to speak in English to myself.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
One thing led to another, and okay, I'm here now.
That's genuinely so cool. I think it's easy to forget that you just aren't a native English speaker. Like, my brain goes, okay, well, he has an accent because he's not American. He's not, from an English speaking country, but you do, you speak so well, and
thank you.
That is crazy to me. My brain doesn't go, wait, you've only been doing this for what, 2 years, and
that's
exactly are a year.
Thoughts. I thought I just assumed you just speaking it since you woke up. Since you were born. Yeah. So that's amazing.
The thing is, I feel like the vocabulary was there because I will read stuff in English, right? It was the speaking part. And if you look at my first YouTube videos, you're gonna see that it was completely different.
Wow.
You could tell I was struggling, but I think it's nothing. And with time, like, it started, things started going well, and I started to see the possibility of, like, I started, for me, a big point was becoming affiliate, and like, it's crazy because here in South America in particular, not many people know about streaming, and it's not seen as something people do. Now things are changing a little bit, right? But we're always a little bit behind regarding all those aspects. And at the point I realized I could make revenue from this activity, it opened the gate to say, okay, this is something I could do, which is not that different from, like, it's in the same vein as being a musician in a sense that I'm performing, right? And I feel like creating content is like content creators are artists, period.
Absolutely.
Like, if you think about it, musicians are content creators, and the content is music, right? So yes, at one point I realized that, for example, okay, the lessons and the music was slowing down, and I was starting to like suffer from, I don't know, I will come from work and then had to stream, but stream was going good and things were going great. So at one point I decided to I don't know, just go full time. Why not? And here I am.
That's
fair enough.
Amazing. You're amazing, Bruno.
Before I ask the next question, I just want to ask one that's just occurred to me. So when I went from being a part-time content creator to being a full-time content creator, I actually found that I had less time to create content than I did when I was part-time, which sounds daft. Do you find the same thing, or do you find it more free in being full-time?
It's an interesting question, because the fact going full-time, the thing is that, okay, this is my job now, and not, it's more like, this is where my sustenance comes from, right? Like, we all need to work in one sense or another to, like, earn income and be able to, eat and all that stuff. Like, it's something you can't escape. And it can be an issue to mix something you are passionate about with something that, like, you need to do, right? And I feel like that has been a conflict for many people, because when it becomes your job, you need to do it consistently. I never felt like I had a problem with that, mainly because, like, for me, it's always been my objective to make a living out of something I enjoy and that makes a difference in people's lives. That has always been, like, my guide. I want to make a living doing something I like, and that makes a difference for people. And that's why I did music, and that's why I do this now. So it's always something I enjoy. Of course, it's always, oh man, what am I gonna do a video? Well, what am I gonna do this now? I need to come up with an idea for this, but I don't know. I don't know exactly what you mean when you say that you got less time. I feel like it opened, like exactly what do you mean? Like, there's more stuff you need to take care of. I turned the interview around now. We're asking Foxy.
It's really odd, because I used to get up in the morning. Well, I don't think I had a dog when I was working, but do the morning routine, go to work for 9 o'clock, come back at 5, sort out food and things like that, and then I'd have the evening to make Minecraft videos. And I never felt like I was struggling for time. I always felt I had plenty of time to put into the videos. I had plenty of time to develop storylines and things like that. But as soon as I went full time, all of a sudden I feel I genuinely, every single day of the week, I'm like, I don't have enough time to record a video for this week. I have no time to record a video for this week. And yeah, I do fill the time up with other things like streaming and marketplace content and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think it's just a different level of stress that makes you feel like that, I guess.
Yes, I felt that a couple times. And I think one of the things about being a full-time content creator is basically that you are self-employed in a sense, and that you are in charge of your time. Like, you say, okay, you fill your quota of work of the day because you woke up, you went to work. When you are at work, you know, like what you got to do, kind of, right? Okay, you do this, and you need to go, and if you do retail work, somebody comes into a store, you sell, and it's kind of like laid out for you in a sense what you need to do, or you got a boss that tells you what you need to do. Whereas when you're a content creator, it's all on you. Like, you need to come up with the ideas for the videos. You need to say, okay, from this time to this time, I'm going to work. You decide your time, right? You are in charge of your own productivity, and there's nobody to answer to but you, in a sense. And that certainly is an issue, right? And it's something I feel continuously, and I know you guys know because you do this, right? And I feel it's something that maybe doesn't get talked about that much, that I feel that people should know a little bit more about how, I don't know, I started feeling that I need to be a better person in order to be a better content creator. Like, in a better person, I mean, I need to be able to manage my own time more efficiently, for example. Or now, for example, I exercise often, right? Why do I exercise often? Because it's better for my mental health. It helps me be productive. So now I exercise 5 times a week just because it makes me feel better. Because if I feel, I don't know, with those problems like the insecurities and stuff that can come with content creation, right? Like, exercise helps you counterweight that a little bit. If you exercise, there's certain stuff that happens in your brain and your body that make you feel better, period. Or help you feel better.
Yeah.
Totally agree
right?
with you.
It's just how it works. It's like your body's made for that in a sense. So, like, I feel like I don't know, I got a morning routine, for example, but like I got an actual morning routine. I wake up, I go out, I walk, I come back, I do some stretching, then I had my breakfast, and then I start working. And that's something I needed to come up with a mechanism to get me to work every day consistently. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is hard when you're self-employed and you work from your house. Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say in regards to like the going full time and having less time thing, and I think knowing you, Foxy, a huge part of that is when you were working full time and then making content. It's you knew how much time you had, right? So you prioritized what you needed to get done. So, okay, I'm working now. I need to get home. I have to get a video done. So it was like, okay, there's just this amount of time. Whereas now that you're not doing the work, you have all of this time. And so your mind is free to go, you know, I kind of want to work on this website today. Oh, wait, but I want to work on this thing over here. And there's this that I also should really do. So it's not that you don't have time because you have time. It's now you're free to do as much or as little as you want in the million things that you do. So it's not that you have less time. It's that you have more options.
I'm just bad at prioritizing that time.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Basically.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
You made me think. I have a to-do list, and my to-do list just keeps on growing. It never shrinks.
See?
And stuff gets dragged down. And at one point, I scroll down. Oh, I needed to do this. Or sometimes I even like it's crazy.
Yeah. Oh,
there's tons of stuff you want to do, and it becomes a problem. Like finding time for that, for doing all the things, and also being able to because I'm in charge of my YouTube, I'm in charge of my Twitch streams, which involve, I don't know, making redeems, doing stuff, right? I'm also in charge of my community, so I need to come up with stuff for the community, and I need to be able, like, individually, those things may not sound like too much, but it's a lot of stuff I gotta do. For example, and then I gotta find time for each one. Not just find time, but like set time for each one. And being able, if I gotta do 3 hours of community work now, like the results need to be this. And they are never that. You always need 15 minutes, half an hour, 1 more hour. And then the other thing you need to do, it's a little bit pushed back, and one thing leads to another. Okay, I'm sure you guys know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, too well.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, so you obviously... You decided to start streaming. Why Minecraft?
Why Minecraft? That is an interesting question, actually. I used to... I started playing Minecraft originally on, 2012 or something like that, but I just played for a couple months. Nothing. It was boring because I didn't play online. I didn't know anything. I didn't watch YouTube videos. It's just a game I started playing. And then, many years later, in 2019, I was looking for a game to play with Aikadel, my girlfriend. And she's very creative. She studied art and stuff. And I thought that would be a great game for her. And to play together, it's also kind of like, you know how Minecraft is... It's like for a wide audience, right? You don't need to be a hardcore player, but you can, if you want, you can choose. You can be very, very creative. You can be more technical. So I thought we would find something for her. And we started playing together. And I started having fun. And then I started, how did redstone work? I want to search a video. And I found a Mambo Jumbo video. And then the guy was also uploading videos from this place called Hermitcraft server. And I was like, I'm going to watch people playing on a server. What kind of crazy stuff is this? Which again is because of my background. Here is nobody does that, or not many people do it. So but at one point I started watching. It was fun, and I thought, but maybe I could make some videos. And I don't know, I would imagine myself making videos or interacting with people. I don't know if I would play in a server like this. What would I do? If I had to make videos or builds, what would I do? So, but again, on 2019, I didn't have an opportunity to do it because I had tons of work. Yeah, and when the pandemic came, I started doing it, and at one point it was okay, why not try making a video and see where that goes? So,
amazing.
That's really cool.
Jeez.
Does she still play?
She, a little bit, every now and then. Yeah, that's something that started happening. I started playing on my own at one point.
Yeah.
We will play together, and then she will say, okay, Bruno, I need to go and do something. Okay, I'm going to stay a little bit just finishing this up. And then one day I loaded the game by myself. And one day I was building stuff. Oh, look at what I did. Okay. And I just kept on going.
That's amazing.
It's such a great game. Minecraft is such a great game, guys. It's the best game.
It is.
Even though, like, I play other stuff.
No
it's
bugs.
Just great.
Bugless.
Especially in Java Edition. None at all. Okay. I think the biggest question on everybody that everybody's, will be thinking of, Bruno, is how are you still alive?
Am I still alive? In which sense are you asking me? Inside the game? Are you asking me like in real life?
Yeah, in the game. You've had that half-hearted hardcore going on forever, and I see your thumbnails pop up from time to time. It's like, how? Yes. How are you doing? What? How?
It's interesting because I never thought about playing hardcore before I got invited to Don't Die December, which was a hardcore server. And then it was like, okay, maybe I'm better. Like, and I survived the whole month. I was the guy that survived the whole month. And I was like, maybe this is not that hard. Maybe I can do it. And I saw that Sliceline was doing half-hearted hardcore, which is what I play now, which is basically hardcore. For those of you that don't know, if when you die in the game, like the world ends, you go to spectator mode, you can't play anymore. And I play half-hearted hardcore, which is a data pack that sets your health to half a heart.
And so just the slightest fall and you can kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right now, like, I have a world that is on Amplified. I am about to reach 1,000 days. I had a world before where I reached 1,500 days, and I didn't die. I just said, okay, I want to try on Amplified. I still have the world.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, jeez.
And you get used to it. It's like it takes getting used to. But at one point, you progress in the game. Like the hard part is the beginning because you got nothing. Like it's literally you fall 4 blocks and you die. So you gotta be really careful at the beginning. But then you get fair falling and like. You realize, like, one of the keys, for example, is that you can take fractional damage. That is, like, half a heart is not the minimum damage you can take. You can take a quarter of a heart of damage, for example. It doesn't show in the GUI, right? But it's still counted there. So you can take an arrow to the face if you got good enough gear. You can fall a little bit if you have good enough gear, right? And learning to manage that, and also it gives a little bit more sense to like getting good armor. Like now it's a necessity. You need to go and get the villager setup. You need to go and get the totems. You need to go and get the golden apples. And golden apples give you 2 extra hearts for 2 minutes. So like in a dangerous, when I'm in a tough spot, I say, okay, you're gonna get in here. You're gonna eat an apple.
In a tough spot, I'm gonna go in there with 2.5 hearts.
Yes.
Crazy. Oh man, that's amazing. Jeez. Jessie, do you want to ask a couple of questions?
Of course. I was going to say, how are you so positive all the time? Like genuinely you're just so positive. And honestly, I think that people need to know, are you genuinely that positive, like in your everyday life? Or is this just like, are you just on, right? Like, is it just like the mask you send out to everyone? Because you are always just like, smile. Like you're the definition of a smile. Always so positive.
I think there are many facets to that question, to the answer to that question. I do believe, and I don't think it's a mask. I do believe that when you are a performer, you need, at one point you become self-conscious of yourself as a performer, and you can choose what you want to bring forward to the table. Like, I could start streaming and start talking about my problems, but is that really what I want to put on the table? Is that really what I want to bring to people? No, I want to bring joy to people, right? I want people to enjoy their time around what I do, right? I want them to be distracted from their problems. And in doing so, I do that so myself. And I also bring a part of me that I enjoy, right? I bring the more joyful part of me because it's great because... So, I don't know, I've had bad days. Everybody has bad days, right? It's just a part of being a human. So, but sometimes I was having like a bad day where maybe, a bad day can be something bad happens to you, or for whatever reason, a bad day can also be like, for whatever reason, you're not feeling good that day. You're just feeling down. It can happen. But when I sit on the stream, sometimes I have no idea what I'm going to say, but I hit go live. I put on the music. When the counter hits 0, I go, oh, good morning, everyone, and this and that. And it just, stuff starts flowing. It's it's also something I learned from being a musician, like being able to enter like a state of flow in a sense. And also like, I don't know, because here comes the second part. I was not always like this. At one point in my life, I was quite depressive, and I had depression actually. And it's something that if I wanted to be a musician, I needed to learn how to improve of myself. Because, for example, I will go on stage and play a solo and miss a couple notes, and then I will be like all the rest of the concert thinking, oh man, I messed up. Everybody's thinking that I messed up. And all those insecurities started happening, and I ended up suffering the performance and then not enjoying the show, right? And then I realized that is a problem with me. That is something I need to work on. Because if like people can tell that you're not having a good time when you're on stage or when you're on a stream, if you're watching someone and they are not genuinely having fun, they can transmit it to other people. Yeah. So like if I wanted to transmit that to people, I needed to feel it, and if I wanted to feel it, I need to work on myself. And nothing like all that learning process I had to do as a musician, I feel like now I can put it on streaming, and it's what I do.
I like that.
Nice.
Yes, like, am I always happy? No, we are old people, and I don't know. Sometimes stuff happens, but like I try to bring that good part of me to streaming because that's what I want to put in the table for people that come to my stream.
Do you know, I watched a few. Sorry, Jesse.
No, you're fine.
Watched quite a few YouTube videos over the years of, how to present yourself as a content creator and things like that. And a lot of the advice is you've got to be positive. People don't want to be around miserable people. You need to, the more positive you are, the more happy you are, the more, people enjoy your content. And it's totally true. But I think from my perspective, I've always tried to avoid talking about problems and things like that, certainly in videos and things like that. But I find in streams my Britishness comes out a lot, and I end up doing that moaning thing because I find I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world, but in Britain it's quite entertaining listening to people complain.
Yeah, I was saying like it all depends on how you do it too, right? And of course, not everybody has to be the same. Like, you have to find what you enjoy doing. And if it's a part of you that comes out when you're streaming and you feel comfortable with that and your audience does too, it's okay. Like, some people as you said, some people like watching people complain and they find it fun and they also find it relatable.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the stuff you complain about is people that everybody wants to complain about. Maybe you're being the voice of someone. And that has value in itself, right?
Yeah, I do try and do it in a very tongue-in-cheek, sort of fun way rather than it being sort of a woe is me type thing. I always try to laugh about it.
Yes.
And I think
that is important, I feel, how you do it.
Yeah.
If you are complaining and feeling sad in a sad way, it stops being fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're also like, if somebody's listening to you, instead of having fun about this problem they are having, they start feeling miserable themselves because they can relate to you feeling miserable. So, in a sense, you are taking when you complain in a fun way, you're taking someone that makes people feel bad and you make them feel good about it, in a sense. So you are improving people's life in that sense, right? You complain, I don't know, about the rain. The rain, you're like, oh man, the rain just ruined the walls of my house, and I had to this, and now I have to pay this. Okay, that dang rain. It just wets everything and it gets into my socks when I walk outside, and everybody relates to that, but it's better.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And that is the power. That is the power of being how to say this, a performer.
Yeah.
Because we are performers. You are performing in front of an audience, and it's important to know it. And I feel like there's people that think, okay, this person puts on a mask. I don't think it's a mask. You choose what aspects of you want to put on the table when you go live. And if you lie or if you put on a mask, people can tell.
Yeah.
You can't, because you can't transmit. If you're not feeling good, you can't transmit that. If you're not enjoying, you cannot transmit joy, even though it may look like you are. And people can feel that. It's also something like, if I missed a note on stage, maybe people don't know. But if I feel bad about it, they are going to know something's going to be wrong. They're going to feel that vibe. So maybe I'm the only one that realized that I messed up a note on a solo. But if I laugh about it and I just keep on going, people are going to take that good vibes, despite what I play. Most people don't even know.
Yeah, most people
just
don't
play
care.
whatever. Yeah,
they just enjoy what you're doing, and that makes me think, like, what is the thing that you like most about being a content creator? Because it sounds like for you, it's really important how you are perceived, or like what good you are doing. So I just makes me curious.
Yes, what I think it's going back to why I went full time and all that. Why do you enjoy the most of being a content creator is being able to do something for a living that I enjoy and that it creates a positive impact on people's lives. I'm guessing you guys might have gotten someone in your chat saying, "Oh, I was having a bad day, but after watching your stream, I'm feeling better," and that means a lot. You made somebody's life better, and we all have been in a sad moment. I don't know, having a bad day or whatever, and we all know how that feels first. So knowing that you're getting somebody out of that place, even if it's just temporary, right? You're not solving people's lives. You're just, giving them a little bit of a good moment. And we all, I don't know, we listen to a record, we watch a show, we do something, right? And being able to be the vehicle for that, you create the content. I feel like it gives meaning to what I do. Like, I'm not just trying to, because, if you look at numbers and stuff and the statistics and this, it can all become a little bit overwhelming and also stressful. But if you focus on the impact that you're having on people's lives, it doesn't matter if it's 3 people, if it's 100 people or 1,000 people, right? You're making a difference, and that gives meaning to what you do. So, like, okay, am I going to go live now if I don't know, 30 people are going to be there, or I don't know, numbers can vary, right? If only a little people are going to be there, maybe not as many people are coming to your streams. Maybe the people that do, your stream matters a lot. So,
I like that.
Okay, you are being a force. I was thinking about this too. Like, there are many places that generate like places of negativity. I don't know, you go on Twitter and you see people complain about something and discussing, and it's basically a bubble of negativity, right? A space to be negative on.
Yeah.
But I am creating a space where people can come together and share good things, and that is valuable in of itself. 100%. It's important that places like that exist. It's important that, like, I feel like we are the warriors of the good vibes, man. We are bringing good joy to people. It's important that it's people like us, even if we do it in front of 1,000 people or 3 people. It's important that we are doing it.
That sounds like a great name for a new SMP, the Good Vibes
right?
SMP.
Good vibes.
There's not allowed any moaning in here. There's not allowed any negativity. You're positive or you're out. I think we can. You've told a story today, Bruno, and it's a mighty impressive one, I have to say. But if there's one thing that you like the least about being a content creator, what would that be?
What I like the least, one of the things I definitely don't like, and I feel like you guys don't, is kind of like the numbers of it, in the sense that the analytics, how like the whole system. Because here's the thing. You don't want, like, I used to talk about this on streams. You know how after you stream, you get like a stream recap from Twitch, right? Yep. They send you an email that says the stream recap. So the condensation of your stream, if we got to take something from your stream, is this. And it's peak viewers, how many average viewers, and the number of, I don't know what else, something else. So, like, it's kind of like the message they are giving you is your stream was this. 54 people. 36 people, and I don't know, something else, whatever the other thing is, and it's missing so much from what actually happens on your stream. And the thing is that if you are not careful, and even if you are careful, that can stress you out. That can, it gets to you. And yes, that is definitely something I don't like. And because I don't know, if the numbers go down, you start thinking, okay, what do I have to do something? Is it in my power to change stuff? Do I have to change stuff? Is there something I'm doing wrong? Is there something I should be doing? I don't know. Should I come up with a new series? Should I do this and that? So yes. And another thing I kind of don't like, but I kind of like, is, again, being your own boss, in a sense. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great, but it's not great. Because if you are a bad boss, you are a bad boss for yourself. And yes, again. And if you're a bad employee, you're a bad employee for yourself. Yeah. It's hard to be a good boss for yourself. And also, like, you are your own boss, but also you are your own employee. So,
yeah. I know, it's a pain when you got to go and ask for holiday time and your boss is just like, no, you got work to do. I don't care if it's the holidays or it's your kid's birthday or what. You got to make Minecraft videos or else.
Yes.
Oh, man,
I took my first
I
took my first vacations this year after 2 years of streaming. I never took any time off. Apart from one time I got sick. I think it was Corona. I didn't even test it.
Yeah.
But and it was a thing. It was a thing for me. Okay, can I afford to take this time off? Are people gonna be there? If I go for a week and I come back, are people still gonna be there? Those are questions that rise up, right? And even though you can tell yourself now, people like everything is gonna be okay, you always have the doubt. But yes, that is definitely like you kind of feel a pressure that you have to continuously be creating content. And that can be rough sometimes. I also feel like I don't know, sometimes bad things can be good. As I said earlier, like, I don't know, it forces you to organize you better. I need to learn how to be a productive person in order to do this. But if I do it correctly, I am my own boss. And if I am a good boss, I do what I like and I'm able to make a living out of it. So, like, I like that. But okay, I turned something I didn't like to something I like, so I feel like I cheated.
That's perfectly valid. That's absolutely fine. Okay, we've got a couple more questions on here that we've added to the list. So should we get through these relatively swiftly because time's pushing on? I've also got some breaking news as well in a minute.
Uh-oh.
So we'll chew through these nice and quickly. Jess, if you want to start.
What is something the community doesn't know about you that you think they would be surprised to know?
That I have a face, actually.
Yeah,
I do have a face.
Oh man. Okay. Jeez. Oh, this one's probably a little bit more in depth. Where do you want to be with it all? You're full time now. Where's your future? What's your end goal, or is it just to enjoy it as long as you can?
I have no idea, and that is something I never actually. Was never a guy that had their life planned. So I kind of feel comfortable with that. I feel like I'm building, like right now, I'm like, of course, as in my career as a musician, I had to build up skills, right, that I'm using now for streaming too. But now as a streamer, I'm building up different types of skills that maybe if I can no longer be a full-time content creator, I don't know, I'll find something I can
places.
Do.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel like life goes on and things change. That is how life is, and like you need to, I don't know, not be ready for change, but like know that change can come and adapt to stuff. So I don't know, if this goes down, I'll find something else, and I probably use the skills I learned here somewhere else.
No,
but you sound like you got plenty of talents to fall back on and plenty of experience as well. So I don't see anything being a major issue for you in the future.
Thank you, Foxy. But you never know until you do it, right?
No,
so,
absolutely.
Okay, yes, you can have capabilities and stuff, but you still gotta go and do the thing. So
yeah. Okay, right. Next one, Jesse.
What made you choose the name Bruno?
That is a question I'm gonna turn down to you. Is my real name Bruno? What do you guys think?
Maybe.
See, I can see your name being Bruno, but at the same time, I can also see your name being like Steve. So
I don't think Steve's a very sort of Uruguayan
name. No, there are no Steves here. There are 0 Steves.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. You tell us, Bruno.
No, the audience tell us. Send messages. Is my real name Bruno? Right now in the Discord thing, and I'll read your answers.
Stream prediction. We'll tell you next week. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Bruno, for answering all of those questions for us. And I really appreciate the death you went into. Sorry.
Thank you for this space. I feel like it's, although it's the first time I get interviewed when it comes to my streaming. Like, I can talk about it, but it's not the same. And there are many things that I think that I don't know. I always thought it would be nice to talk about, and I feel like nothing. I want to say thanks for this space to be able to do it.
Aw. Well, of course.
Well, thank you. Okay, before we go on to the wish list and find out what everybody wants inside of Minecraft, I have some breaking news. Minecraft Beta in Preview 1.19.60.24 has just dropped. It is fresh off the presses, and I've had a very, very quick scan through, and there's a couple of changes which I think are going to be quite interesting. So, slimes and magma cubes will no longer spawn in spaces that are 2 block tall or less, which is nice, because that's incredibly annoying. They've fixed items just breaking too quickly when you attack mobs with them, which is nice. Hoppers, finally, this has been a problem for ages. They will no longer fail to collect items if you try and if there's like more than one different type of item on top of them, which has been driving me crazy for years. I've had to adapt my Guardian Farm storage system so many times because of that one, so that's amazing. And there's a bunch of other stuff in there as well, but I haven't really had a chance to read that through. But it doesn't look like there's anything particularly important, and it's quite short as well, so could 1.90.60 be here before we know it? Who knows?
Seems like.
Right, Bruno.
Yes.
What, if there's any one thing you could have in Minecraft, doesn't have to be Bedrock Edition, Java Edition, Minecraft as a whole, whatever, what would it be?
I think if there's one thing I could have in Minecraft, I always thought about the cheese block. I want cheese in Minecraft.
Cheese. Okay.
I like it.
What would you do with cheese? You just eat it?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe you just I want to build a huge cheese, and it's hard. I can't do it.
Would you put it down on the floor and it like smells a bit and wards off things that?
Oh my goodness!
It could be nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Like really going seriously now, I'm not sure. If there's anything I will like. I feel. I don't know. Whatever they bring is gonna be fun. Hopefully.
Okay. Jesse, what do you think? Should we have cheese in the good ideas bin?
Yes, because it's Bruno.
Gets a free pass. Okay. Well done, Bruno. Your cheese will be added to the game at some point in the future. It's guaranteed by Mojang, the promise. Oh, jeez. I better write that down. Good.
Oh, jeez.
Idea. Cheese. Nice. Okay. Our first community wish list item is from Argonaut, who says, believe it or not, what about a Pegasus? Not sure if this has been discussed before, but wouldn't it be awesome? Imagine a horse with wings you could ride in the air as well as on the land. Oh, Argonaut. I don't know if you did that on purpose as just a joke or whether you're just a little bit behind in the podcast, but I really appreciate it anyway. But yeah, thank you. It's already in the good ideas bin. We talked about it today, in fact. Jeez.
CJ says, in a new beta, campfires do not set players or mobs on fire. And cannot destroy minecarts and boats anymore, but I want them to. It makes more sense, and many people, including me, use them in farms.
We covered this earlier in the news, didn't we? You just won't get cooked food, but it'll still die. So there you go. It's fine. Don't worry about it, CJ.
Maribel Jade, the amazing Maribel Jade from Truly Bedrock says, I wish that hostile mobs wouldn't spawn in a desert during thunderstorms. Was going to put this into bug reports, but I looked it up and it works as intended. I don't know, Jade. Just spawn-proof your desert.
Spawn-proof the desert, jeez. Wow. That could take some time. Yeah. Well, just slab
Bruno
it all, Jade.
Ruthless.
It's fine. Just slab it all. So to be fair, when there's a thunderstorm, it gets dark. That's
yeah.
But you can sleep through them, so it's the same as nighttime. I'm sorry, Jade, but it's just
And mobs spawn in other biomes in thunderstorms too. So that's the thing.
Technically in the desert it's not raining, but it's not. It's the darkness. So
that is a good point. Didn't think about that part.
Well, should have done, shouldn't you? Eh?
I know. Yeah, that's my
instead.
bad.
Wow.
Okay, there you go.
Jeez.
Move on.
Out of Touch says, I'd like an auto sort button for my inventory and chest. Yes, please. I don't really care what the sorting method is, alphabetical, colour, etc. I just want it done automatically. I get used to whatever method they use. Well, good news, Dutch. They already have one. It's automatically sorted by random order. So you're welcome.
Yes.
Game.
There you go.
No, I need that from pretty much every mod that has ever existed ever. When you like double click and then like it's just like, oh.
Yeah.
I love those. I love it.
Please.
I want it.
Yes. Yes.
Done. Decided. What do you think, Bruno?
I like Foxy's idea. It actually happens already. It's just that it's random. Your feature has been implemented since the start. It's just a random. You say you don't really care about the sorting method. Okay, there we go.
I care.
Just sorts it by whatever order you put it in there. It's great. We might have to circle back to this one next week when Bruno's not here.
Yeah.
We've got slacks about on this because I think we need this in one way or another. We'll have to spend some time on that one and really figure it out. Jeez.
Agreed. Brood says, colorable light sources. I would like both constant on ones and redstone controlable ones.
Oh, that way.
Constant on ones.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Lantern.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, I don't understand that part, but colorable lights. Like I could use a dye on a light.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Imagine you had like a redstone lamp, but you could dye it. And it would give different coloured lights.
That would be great. Using dyes on a light.
Yeah, absolutely.
You kind of like on Bedrock RTX, there was kind of like a thing. I've seen videos where like you, if you made light go through a glass, it will change colors.
Yes,
I think that was cool, and that will add a whole dimension. Okay, that's what I want from Minecraft. Forget about the cheese. I want color light sources too.
Here we go.
On this one.
In the good ideas bin.
Okay, we're going to write good idea on that one. Brilliant. Bruno approved. Good idea. Let me just Bruno.
Good idea.
Oh, I can't spell, but it's close enough.
No, you can't, but it's okay.
Nice.
Okay, I'm gonna move on now. Let me see.
Yes.
Pamplix says, how about a command to remove all lava/water within a certain distance? You can already do it.
Yeah, I had the night just below
the
that.
response, the fill commands.
Yeah.
Fill replace from here to here, replace water with air, and you can do it.
I do have to side with Pamplix a little bit here, right? Because I know Java Edition has no bugs in it at all, right? But Bedrock Edition, if you do a fill command on water or lava, for whatever reason, just some of it stays. Unless you have to fill, you have to fill it with stone or something first, and then fill that with air.
Yes, I know. Yes, because it's the flowing part is the one you can remove. You can remove the sources, right?
Yeah, you can tell it to remove flowing water separately, but it still sometimes doesn't. And I actually had this when I was building my Infinity Dungeon map because some of the rooms in that had water in, and every single time you would load the level, it would rebuild the room. So first of all, it would have to delete the room that was there and then add a new one. And rather than just like deleting the structure or filling it all with air and then adding a new structure in, which would have been dead easy and not at all intensive for the system to do, I had to first fill the entire thing with stone, then fill it with air and then put the structure in. And what was even more annoying about that was sometimes the stone would end up waterlogged with some of the water sources if they had bubble columns in. So then I had to go around the entire map getting rid of anything that had a bubble column in it because it would just stick to the stone. So yeah, but yeah, fill command should do that job. Jeez. Eye of the Night. So speaking of Fox's underwater redstone, what about if you combined redstone dust with slime balls and then when placed would stick underwater or perhaps to the bottom and side of blocks? Is it just like last week's wish list just reinterpreted, Jesse?
I think that's exactly the same thing, isn't it? Like, I feel like that is...
It's almost identical. We didn't have being able to be placed underwater last week, I don't think. But we had
You're right.
redstone paste that could go up walls and under on the ceiling, which I loved and you guys hated. And we,
I did not like that.
like vertical repeaters and comparators, which I thought was great as well. And you guys were like, no. What do you think, Bruno? You want for some sticky redstone paste that you can put up walls and across the ceiling?
Sticky redstone paste. I think it's interesting because like moving redstone signals up and down is a problem, right? And it's part of redstone too. Like, okay, how do I move this signal from here to there? I think it will be too good. So
it'll be too good.
I'm not
too
sure.
Convenient.
Sometimes you need to be careful with like, okay, it would be nice if we could have this, but maybe it just makes everything too easy.
I think redstone should be easy. I think redstone should be as logical and as obvious as possible, because at the end of the day, you're creating. You're not building anything. You're creating. You're just being creative, aren't you? You're just doing. Yeah. You're experimenting, you're being creative. The fact that the only way to get redstone to go vertically is either you've got to make a redstone torch tower, which adds delay because each redstone torch creates a tick of delay, or you've got to have a staircase, which means that you're taking up quite a lot of room even if it's a glass one. You know, there's no easy vertical way to have redstone. And you could argue, well, what about observers stacked on top of each other? But yet still, even with that, you're adding in delay. Or you could have a sticky piston with slime blocks and a redstone block on the end going upwards. But then that's just going to stick to everything else and it's still going to cause delay. So, yeah, I think vertical redstone dust it makes redstone... Like, it's not, you buy a electronics kit for your kid and you're like, oh, you can't have that wire there because it's going upwards. Why? But why, Dad? No, you can only have them going flat. It doesn't make sense, does it? So, yeah, I'm all up for redstone paste. I will get it in the good ideas bin one day.
I'm starting to think that Foxy just went around and told everybody that they need to bring up sticky redstone because Mia's John says, if only there was sticky redstone and vertical repeaters and comparators, you'd be able to complete your outhouse build, Foxy. Just saying. See,
I know.
This feels very pointed.
I didn't specifically tell people to come and repeat the wish list items from last week, but perhaps they thought with Bruno here we might stand more of a chance of doing it. So thank you, Mia's John. Yeah, I think we should put all of these things in the good ideas bin. Whilst it was Slack was the one with the problem with him last week, and he's not here this week, so
he can't complain about it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to put a good idea.
Once
Bruno
something is in the good ideas
all of
bin,
these ones.
Stays.
Yeah, Bruno says yes. So
no,
sorry,
don't
Slack.
put Bruno approved on that one. Don't put my name on it. Then I have to talk with. Okay, I have to talk with Slack later. He's gonna come knocking on my door. Why don't you put also pineapple pizza? It's a good idea. Or just put it in there and blame it on me.
Bruno says, yeah. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Oh, gosh. Ooh, my sides.
Okay. Gotta keep on going because we got a suggestion from, a wish from Robo Rufus 7 saying, hello, everyone. I wish that when you get set on fire by a soul fire, the UI thing in your face was blue. Robo Rufus was killed by the orange-blue fire, and I agree. When they need to add blue. It's blue fire. You see it, it's blue. You step on it, you get red. Like what?
But they took that away. Now we no longer.
No, that's only on campfires.
No, but you can light up blue.
You turn orange.
Oh, by soul fire. Sorry, I totally read that wrong. Okay, yeah, I agree with you. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, Rufus, you're right. Good idea. And that one is Bruno approved, so I would assume.
Oh, jeez. Blue Block 22 says, on behalf of Foxy's VIP challengers, I submit the idea of dyeable flowers, which is exactly what it sounds like. Take some dye, black for example, and some flowers, peonies for example, which are normally light pink. Combine them and you get a black dyed peony. This solves the problem of wanting a particular flower shape, but not the colour that comes with it. And they've even added it to the feedback site. And do you know what? Well, even if the other two don't like this, I'm going there and I'm upvoting it because I think it's a cracking idea. Brilliant.
This is me we're talking about. Do you think I'm not going to upvote flowers?
It makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can use flowers for dyes, so why can't we use dyes on the flowers?
Which one was it? The Alice in Wonderland, where they were painting the flowers. The queen was painting the flowers.
Well, there are a lot of flowers in actual real life, guys, believe it or not, that you can paint, you can put dye in the water and it will turn the petals that colour. So it is possible.
Yep. Foxy, that's why your flowers die, Foxy. Don't do it anymore. You can't go and just put paint. Just water your flowers with paint and it works. No, Foxy, don't do it.
No, if you put food coloring in the water of some flowers, it will dye their petals. And that's how a lot of flower shops do it. It's really interesting.
See, I'm not totally stupid. Jeez. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We're having that one. Good idea. Yes. Is that one Bruno approved at all, Bruno?
Maybe. Don't kill your flowers, guys.
Okay. Bruno.
Semi-approved.
About your flowers. Okay. Jesse, next one.
Tempered says, baby animals. I want a means to keep a baby mob from growing into an adult.
Yes.
Who wouldn't want a kitten or puppy curled up on their bed, or piglets with their mother in a pen? Even a petting zoo for foals and lambs. Perhaps a splash potion of healing applied to babies could keep them from growing. I like the idea of it because baby animals are cute. But it just sounds kind of sad. You must stay little forever.
Peter Pan.
I'm torn on this one because I hate the attempted realism of real life in Minecraft. As I've said many, many times, I'd much rather Minecraft only had fantasy creatures and animals in it, so we had a lot less of this, we can't do this because of that, and we can't suggest this because of that. Having said that, I wish I could do that to things in the real world. I wish Nelly could have been a puppy forever. Everybody wants that from their animals. But when they grow up, they're their own character, they're their own thing, and you still love them just as much. You still want another puppy because you miss having a puppy. But yeah, so I think that's okay for Minecraft. I would like that, but I can understand my
Minecraft
mojo.
Is about,
you can't do that.
It's about you. It's about you being able to do what you want, right?
Yeah.
So go use some shears on your cat, and it will never grow.
His leg's never going to grow again because half of it's in the. Yeah. Just use shears on your cat, Bruno. Jeez, it's bald. Jeez, I've got a big pile of cat fur on my bed now.
Oh man.
Okay, is that a good idea then?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Click on
We
a
like
kitten with
it.
some shears and it just turns into a piece of string. It's a little
Don't try
puff of
that at home.
smoke and a piece of string.
Wow.
What do we think, Jesse? Is this one going in the good ideas bin?
Yeah, good idea.
Okay.
Nice, good idea. We got another one from Lemon Aiden saying, hi, I'm Aiden. Hello, Aiden. What if you can stop and start potion effects? No doubt it will make How Did We Get Here easier. You mean how start and stop?
Pause them? Is that what they mean?
I don't know how you would do that.
Yeah.
You take water breathing and you have 1 minute, I don't know, you use 2 minutes and you got one left. You say, okay, I want to use it later. You're gonna, and hold it in and, okay. And you got that minute for later.
Yeah, I guess so. I say no.
I will say no on this one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Aiden. Sorry, Lemon Aiden. There should be no pause potions for you. Right. Okay, our last wishlist item is from Stitch Fix. who always starts like they do in my Discord and my streams and my video comments with Foxy, 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 how's your day? Well, hello there, Stitch Fix. I've got the greatest...
I know it because I can almost hear them going, Foxy, 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 how's your day? I can hear it.
Like waving across the street. I never thought of it like that. I just thought there would be an answer. They're just following me, aren't they? Foxy! Fuck! I've got the greatest idea for a wish list. A community chest. Something like an ender chest, accessible anywhere, but also accessible by everyone. This would stop the endless, can you bring me this or that? Stopping your mining session for ancient debris just to meet your friend to give them 3 golden apples you have in your inventory. I think every time I play, there's that point when you get kind of irritated because it's the 3rd time in an hour someone's asking me for stuff and I'm busy. New add-on possibly. Anyhow, love your content. Slack, Jess, you guys are all right too. Just kidding, you're all the best. Have a great day. And I'm assuming they would say the same for you, Bruno, if they knew you were here.
Okay. I was like, they didn't say Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno's hurt now. He's not going in the good ideas bin because you said no to Bruno. Jeez, I've wanted a community chest forever.
Yeah. Absolutely, without a doubt.
You'd have to really trust everyone on the server, though.
Yeah, you would.
Or only use it for situations when you're passing stuff through.
Maybe a pigeon. You give a pigeon something and it flies away.
Carrier pigeons.
Oh man, that would be great. Yeah, I'm just going to tie this anvil and these ender pearls that you wanted to this carrier pigeon. He'll be there in a minute. You see this pigeon like dragging an anvil across the floor. You're at the bottom of a cave and it's like, where is this person? On top of a mountain. Oh man. Did it make it? 3 hours later. I logged out, I don't know. Just a confused pigeon halfway up a hill. I think the community chest idea is probably slightly a bit more mileage in it, to be honest with you.
Agreed.
Oh, geez. What do we think, guys? Good idea?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, we must be in a good mood today because we've got so many good ideas. Perhaps Bruno's amazing happiness is rubbing off on us all. Jeez. Okay, that's it for good ideas. If you want to leave us a good idea, if you want to wish for something in Minecraft and it gets in the good ideas bin, and Mojang have guaranteed that they will definitely 100% put it in the game at some point in the future, then you can do by, emailing us at news@theminecraftupdate.com or filling out our feedback form that's on the website or joining the Discord. And you can also use all of those things for asking us questions. And a few people have asked us questions today. And I thought Bruno could go first this time, Jesse.
Woo.
Okay, I'll go first. We got a question for Blood saying, question for Bruno, or it's for me. I really enjoyed seeing you pop up on the Bloodlines SMP. Will you be making any content from there? I wouldn't count on it. I think it was like a one-time cameo thing. I got tons of friends in the Bloodlines SMP, right? We have Beerston over there from TV, but also some people back from Legacy. And we always, it was great to be able to just hang out with them and do a little thing. Also do 0 of the editing, so that was amazing. But no, I wouldn't count on it. I haven't gotten an invitation or something, and it's I feel like what they are doing is so good, and I feel happy for being able to just do an appearance. And it was fun for me to just do a cameo. I never did a cameo, and I did it now.
Nice. They're ticking off everything off your bucket list today, Bruno.
Yeah.
Okay, Out of Dutch says Foxy, Slack, and Jesse. Although we shall Foxy, Bruno, and Jesse. There we go. That's better.
There you go.
If you were to find someone's Let's Play of Minecraft and sit and watch it, what would keep you engaged the most? Would you prefer 1, a story made up and being told, played out via Minecraft? 2, a personal commentary that carries you, the viewer, through the experience of the creator? 3, gimmicks, games, mods, and basically anything to avoid seeing the game played normally. I'm asking out of pure curiosity, as I personally am a fan of number 2, as well as that style being the style I've chosen for my own initial series.
Very nice. I like number 2 too. I think it's more, I don't know. Stories are cool, but I'm not sure. If I want a story, I'll read a book, right? Or kind of. There are good stories in Minecraft, but I feel like it's more about, I don't know, I like number 2, the commentary and the experience of the creator. That's me.
Yeah, if you've got somebody, sorry Jesse, before you jump in, but if you've got somebody that you genuinely click with that you're going to watch, then I think personal commentary is definitely the best thing, because you found a creator then that you're going to enjoy, right? Because they can just carry it with talking about the game and doing stuff, and I think that's great, rather than having to try and entertain with something that's not just them doing things, I guess. So yeah, I'd go number 2. What about you, Jesse?
So for me, it depends entirely if something is short form content or like long form. If I'm watching like a short series, like, I don't know, a few episodes or something, I really, really like those to be story based. I think those are so much fun. Like you mentioned, like the Bloodlines thing, that was really entertaining to me. It's something that I know is only so long, and as a story, it's great. If I'm watching somebody's like let's play that's, a year long or something, absolutely number 2. Like number 2 all day. But I do really, really enjoy number 1 for short form content.
Good. Well, there we go. Nice.
Victim says, what public figure would you most want to watch play Minecraft? Ooh.
Let me think.
Public figure.
Joe Biden. I bet that'd be really interesting. I would sit and watch that.
I was thinking, like, anyone that is not related to Minecraft, like, it would be nice to see them play and see what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always fun. This sounds so bad. There's no one that I'm, like, super interested in public figure-wise in terms of, like, entertainment in this atmosphere. Like, I like watching everyday people play Minecraft. I don't think I would be super interested in watching like a Joe Biden or someone like
really
that.
Funny. Like he'd have a group of aides behind him, like pointing, telling him what to click on and do, and it'd just be like moving the mouse around, clicking off the window, it'd be minimizing it. I think it'd be hilarious.
That's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. Bruno, who's next?
Okay, let me see. We got a question from Robo Rufus saying, what do you think the next title screen panorama will be?
A desert with a camel in it.
Yep. Desert with a camel in it.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think it's going to be Foxy's Unfinished Cabin. The outhouse.
The outhouse. Probably. Yeah. Okay, CJ says, I was just wondering, the marketplace has a lot of good content, but there are no mods or add-ons that come close to that level. Why so? Are DLCs and marketplace content different from mods and add-ons? I'm a little bit confused by this one. Are you saying that all mods and add-ons are rubbish compared to the marketplace, or are you asking why there's no mods or add-ons on the marketplace? What should I interpret that as, guys?
To me, it sounds like they're wondering why there are no mods or add-ons like
without a map, without a world on.
Yeah. It's what it sounds like to me, but I could be totally wrong.
It may be like, I feel like when you get something from the marketplace, it's a map that is done, and like that map is what you get, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they have mods, more like what Java does, that you have like a mod that messes up with the world generation, for example. You can just go on and go on.
No, they're not.
Maybe I think it's more along those lines.
The marketplace won't allow mods or add-ons on their own. They have to be part of a map or a world, and not just a plain world. They've got to be part of a world that's got stuff in it that you've made. I'm hoping at some point they'll see the light and change that now, because I think there's definitely monetary value to be had from add-ons on the marketplace. There's a big want for them, but at the time being, there is no scope for it. You can get a resource pack, but a resource pack can only be on the marketplace if it significantly changes every single block and item in the game. So you can't just put like a basic convenient resource pack on there like my Marcus pack, because it's not good enough. It's too busy being considered like a modification rather than a resource pack. So
rereading that, it kind of does seem like they're asking how come none of the DLCs or marketplace content are on the level of like Java mods. Is not like now rereading that, I wonder if that's what they mean, because it says are they that different? So I maybe would interpret that to mean why aren't they on the level of Java mods?
Well, Java Edition, if you're modding Java Edition, you can, depending on the skill level of the modder, can manipulate the game to do whatever you want it to do because you are rewriting the code of the game. Whereas Bedrock Edition add-ons are written within the confines of what they allow you to access. There's no modifying the game code. So it's very, very limited compared to mods. So you have to be incredibly creative to try and make something from basically just fiddling with entities or items or blocks to make it feel almost like a mod. So yeah, that would be the reason.
Yeah, they'd be very different. DJ Chris says, I've been an Xbox player for quite some time now. And when I found out that I can't get add-ons, I was a bit angry that Microsoft took that away. All I've got to say is that they don't really care about us Xbox players when it comes to add-ons.
It's a me question again.
Yeah, that is absolutely aimed at you.
It's not that they don't care about you, DJ Chris, and it's not Mojang's fault. It's the fact that Xbox or Microsoft, through Xbox, I guess, have very strict policies that are put in place probably by lawyers and insurance companies to ensure the safety of the player base on there. And with them having players generally playing Minecraft that are probably of a younger age group, they need to make sure there's absolutely no content able to get into that game at all on those systems that guarantee to their insurance companies and their players and everything like that there's anything in there that could be not suitable for that age range and that audience. If they're selling a game on a console that's a rated U or PG or whatever they've got in the States, 12 or I don't know what. Minecraft is ESRB 10, I think. So if they're selling a game that's at an age range suited for 10-year-olds and there's an ability to put an add-on on there that could have anything in it because they're community-driven, right? And unless there's a really complicated system involved to allow, like the marketplace, to allow curation of what they can add into their game, then you could download an add-on, put it onto your Xbox, add it in there, and your parents walk in the room and you've got a screen filled with things that are totally unacceptable for that age range. And then Microsoft risks a lawsuit on their hands. And then, it's a big problem for everybody. So it's not that they don't care about you. It's actually because they care about not being sued more than anything, but they care about the promises they make to their buyers. I see it all the time, not just with Minecraft, but like all over the internet. People have this feeling that all of these big companies are evil and they're bad and they're trying to make things hard for the players and they're doing these things on purpose. Like when they fix bugs that change mob farms and you get all of the people saying that they're doing it on purpose just to ruin it for them. Why would they do that? Why would they because they feel like it, change the game in a way or block certain access to a game intentionally to annoy people? Because then people, they want people to buy the game. If they get people buy the game, they can hire more staff, they can pay more wages, they can do more things. They make more money, which is what it all comes down to at the end of the day. It's a business. They're not making this game for fun. There's absolutely no reason why any big company would make those decisions unless those decisions, most companies like that are driven by the insurance companies. They have no idea what happens in Minecraft or how to add mods on Xbox or anything like that. So that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. It's just these rules get set by people that don't get it, and they're there to make sure that nobody gets sued and doesn't suddenly cost Microsoft billions of pounds, I guess. Sorry to elaborate on that one. It's quite...
No biggie.
Yeah.
But you answered the question. You were doing your job, Foxy. We got Lemon Aiden. Again, I love that name because it's like lemonade and asking the question, what is the biggest difference between Bedrock and Java Edition? And if I have to answer that one, it will be definitely mods. The ability to add mods is for me the biggest difference.
Is that what you prefer about Java Edition? Is that obviously our history is that you prefer Java Edition quite severely, yes, I would say.
Because these mods allow me to make content easier and better.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer Java from my content creator perspective. I feel like that's something it can be hard to explain, and also a little bit hard maybe to understand from a player's perspective. There are a lot of Java content creators, and in part it is because people have been playing Java for longer, but also because we got more tools for creating content that help you create content, not just better content in a sense, but also like more efficiently. You can use the mod, for example, many people think about replay mode as the obvious one, right? But also, for example, schematic mods that allow you to build something in creative first, which is more efficient time-wise, and then you can put it on survival and rebuild it there following ghost blocks, and which save you time in production, for example. And there are, like that, there are countless more. So that is, for me, the biggest difference. For me, a content creator, right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense.
For you guys.
That does make an awful lot of sense, to be honest with you. I don't know, I prefer the way Bedrock feels to Java Edition. I played Java Edition for, I think still to this point, more years than I have done Bedrock Edition, but I still prefer Bedrock. Don't know why, I just like it.
That is perfectly valid too. Like, it's valid. Like, there is no reason why one is like, there are no better ones. Like, just play what you feel like.
Right?
Yeah. I think that's a huge thing. Is they're not so different that it matters really which one you're playing. For me, I definitely agree with Bruno that Java it's so much more content creator friendly than Bedrock, in my opinion. Like, literally just alone, offhand, even if we take out, spectator, all that other stuff, or like anything else, there's just so many nice things that make life easier on Java than it does on Bedrock. However, I will say I do really, really enjoy how smooth things run on Bedrock in like processing wise. Like I love how quickly chunks load. Like I love it just feels a little less clunky than Java does sometimes. And to me, I really appreciate that, and I value that in that how do I word this? That it does feel like it's more accessible to more people. Like, you don't have to have like the most high-end device or anything in order to play Bedrock, and I love that. I appreciate that a lot. So I tend to make more content from Bedrock because it feels like the audience has the most similar experience with me in this area. But I would be lying if I didn't say, like, as a creator, Java is it's so nice.
It's much quicker to get into a game on Bedrock as well, right? You press, I want to play Minecraft, and boom, you're pretty much in. Whereas on Java, you could load the launcher, you pick which game you want to play. Eventually, the launcher just inexplicably shuts off. And then about 20 minutes later, you get this tiny little screen in the middle of your window going, I'm at Minecraft here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, there's pros and cons for both versions. Anyway,
definitely.
That's it. We're at the end of the questions, peeps. Which means we're very near the end of the podcast. Sorry, Bruno, say that again.
No, I'm sorry. I don't want to go.
Tough.
I don't want to go.
All we got left to do is remind you nicely, it says, ask nicely to support the show. Patreon.com/the Minecraft Update. As this is the second time I've asked you to do that, I'm still not really in a sort of very good way of doing it, I guess. So yeah, we are supported by Patreon now. It's very much appreciated if you join. I did talk about it at the beginning of the show, all of the amazing perks you get. And even if you don't want to do it for the perks, the smallest amount of support is very, very welcomed and appreciated. Right, socials then. Bruno, what are you going to be doing this week? Yeah.
This week's what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be streaming Minecraft over on Twitch, twitch.tv/BrunoDanUy. That is my username. I got my branding right and everything is /BrunoDanUy.
Nice.
I got it. On YouTube, you can find me on the same way, and on Twitter. So those are my socials. Go and follow me if you enjoyed the sound of my voice. And
all of your links will be in the show
all my
notes.
charms.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Okay, Jesse, what about you? Just streaming?
Gonna be streaming every day this week, and then you will get a video on Monday.
Fancy.
Very
Well, I will be streaming as you... No, I won't. It's a week before Christmas, so no, next week there will be no TB streams, unlikely. I will hopefully be doing the evening streams on Hardcore with Mitz, and there will be many videos coming. I say many, it'll be like a couple of videos a week. So, that's it.
We slightly fibbed. This weekend is stream weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So we both will be streaming this weekend.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday, Truly Bedrock Stream Weekend. Starting off with me at 12 o'clock GMT on Saturday. Be sure to check that one out. It's going to be a good one. There's no overlaps this time. We're not having any double ups. It's just all individuals.
No double ups.
Yeah. And I'm the awkward one starting on YouTube, whereas everyone else is streaming on Twitch. But it's fine. Right, guys, don't forget, if you want to get in touch, you can email us at news@theminecraftupdate.com, or you can fill out our handy feedback form that's on our website, or you can join our Discord and put it all in there and have an amazing discussion with all of the like-minded individuals that are completely inactive, apparently, according to LOL123. All that's left to say is the same thing that I say at the end of every single podcast that we do, and that is... If you've had Bruno on your podcast this week, then you've probably got as big a smile on your face as I have. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you so much, Bruno, for coming along. And thank you as always,
guys.
Jesse.
I had a blast. Always a pleasure hanging out with you guys.
Ditto.
Yes,
I feel the same.
Absolutely. All right. Bye, guys.
See you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.